It's time for Hutto Hippos football. Tonight, the Hippos face the top team in District 25 6A, the Vandegrift Vipers. Last week, the Hippos lost a tough but close game to Vistaridge, 27-13, falling to 3-3 and 2-2 in district. However, don't let the Hippos record fool you. They have been in every game against district foes that came down to the wire in big momentum shift plays. The Hippos defense, led by Landon Watson, Braylon Sugg, Zane Bolding, and Brody Bueno, had another stellar game as they intercepted Vistaridge 3 times, had multiple sacks, and limited their big plays. The Hippos offense, once again led by freshman quarterback Will Hammond, J.J. Banks, Jay Lambert, and Damian Jones, had some good plays while having to face a very tough blitz defense. The Vandegrift Vipers come into tonight with a 5-1 record and a 4-0 district record. The Vipers' only loss this year came in Week 1 to the Cedar Park Timberwolves, who are ranked number 4 in 5A. The Vipers pride themselves on their strong defense and explosive offense and have proven they are one of the top teams in the area. The Vipers' offense is led by quarterback Ryan Black, running backs Bowen Lewis and Ryan Shepard, and wide receivers Caleb Lewis and Taylor Dumar. The Vipers' offensive line is huge, which will make it the most difficult game for the Hippos defense to get pressure on the quarterback. The Vipers' defense is led by Logan Arnold, Ricky Sweeney, Austin Skoglund, Ty Jordan, and Reese Beauchamp. The Vipers' offenses average 35.5 points per game, so the Hippos defense will have to play their best game all season to slow down the Viper offense. And the Vipers' defense has only given up an average of 9 points per game. Thank you for joining us on the SA10 Sports Network. Now, live from Ed W. Monroe Stadium in Austin, Texas, are the voices of the Hippos. Sideline commentator Bryce Doggett, color commentator Ryan Robinson, and play-by-play man Todd Robinson. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, thank you, Gage. It is a big night, a pretty night for football here at Monroe Stadium in Leander, and obviously the Hippos come into this one needing a big win. They've got 3 games left in the season. They're currently 2-2 in district play, 3-3 overall, but it's District 25 6A games that matter, and the Hippos still with this Vandegrift team, then Westwood and Cedar Ridge. And it's games, those 2 games are certainly the critical ones. This one, they would certainly like to grab a win against a team that is a perennial powerhouse, not only in Central Texas, but in the state in 6A for the last few years. The Vipers come in having won, I believe it's 20 games in a row in district play. But, you know, I will tell you, the Hippos a couple of years ago faced a Cedar Park team that had won upwards of almost 40 games in a row in district play, and Hippos pulled off a big win that night to stop a big win streak. So maybe they can do the same tonight against a Viper team that is certainly so far has made themselves the class of 25 6A. And but, hey, it's Friday the 13th and it's 2020, so I guess anything can happen for the Hippos tonight. And but this is a Vandegrift team. They're 5-1 on the season, 4-0 in district play. Their one loss was to first game of the year against a Cedar Park team that is currently, what is Cedar Park, 3 in the state,
Something
I think,
like, yeah.
in 5A, and maybe is the best.
Probably the best team in 5A.
Probably the best Cedar Park team, and there have been a lot of good ones. The best Cedar Park team we've seen in a long time. So certainly no shame in losing to them 21-7, but this one's going to be tough for the Hippos. They're going to have to play well, almost perfectly on all 3 sides of the ball. And Coach LaPlante had a lot to say about the beginning or about this game and the importance of the Hippos trying to get off to a good start. Let's hear what he had to say. Well, or we won't. A little technical difficulties there on hearing from Coach LaPlante. I think for this Viper team, certainly their quarterback Ryan Back comes in 77 out of 115, 999 yards. So his first completion tonight, unless it's a negative completion, will put him over 1,000 yards for the season. He has 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and so they do it a lot with him. They've got receivers that they spread the ball out to all over the place. Taylor Dumar is 22 catches for 319 yards. Ryan Shepard's carried the ball for 492 yards. And Bowen Lewis has carried the ball for 353 yards. He has three touchdowns on the ground and 5 touchdowns receiving, 268 yards receiving. So he's kind of a dual threat. But I think tonight the big threat for the Hippos and somebody that they're really going to have to keep an eye on is running back number 48, Tommy Hartman. Boy, I tell you what, Ryan, every time Tommy Hartman touches the ball, he scores.
Boy, he's a dangerous cat, isn't he?
Yeah, he is going to be he's going to be difficult, and I think when the Hippos are on defense, they really going to have to keep an eye on number 48, Tommy Hartman, and you don't want him to get off to a big fast start against the Hippos, and certainly you have to think that the Vipers, as soon as they get on offense, they're going to want to put the ball in the hands of Mr. Tommy Hartman.
Yeah, I was going to say, look for them to feed him early and see what he can do and work some of that magic. He's yet to score a touchdown this year.
Yet he scores every time he touches the ball.
Friday the 13th, 2020. Never know what could happen.
He hasn't scored, but he does score every time he touches the ball. So
that's what we
figure
hear.
that one out. And for the Hippos, one of the things that they will have going tonight is they should have Grayson Doggett back at the quarterback. Will Hammond has filled in the last 2 weeks when Grayson's been unavailable, and certainly I think it'll be a different look. And for this Viper team, they've had to prepare for multiple quarterbacks. They don't know if they're going to see Grayson Doggett or they don't know if they're going to see Will Hammond in the backfield. But
or Brody Bueno.
Or Brody. Certainly there's 3 options. I think Grayson's going to get the start at quarterback. And, again, coming off of a 2-week sit-out. And I know he's anxious to be back in there and start throwing that ball. Will Hammond did a great job the last 2 weeks, was 34 of 58 for 358 yards, had 2 touchdowns and an interception. Grayson's last time out was a little misleading too. He had come into that game with no turnovers, had 5 interceptions in his last game, but 3 of those were off of deflections off of the hands of his own guys. So certainly Grayson will look to get untracked tonight. We're about 4 minutes to go. I think we're just about set for the national anthem. Trying to get our crowd mic situation set up here, and we will be ready for the national anthem here in just a second. While they're still getting set up, I'll tell you, Vandegrift High School has only been around since 2009, so it's only 11 years old. But in that time, they were they were area finalists in 2011, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2019. They were regional semifinalists in 2018, quarterfinalists in 2015, and state semifinalists in 2014. And their head coach, Drew Sanders, he is the only coach in Vandegrift history. He's 90-38 as the head man at Vandegrift High School. He's 106-53 overall, and so not only a great coach, but, we've heard just wonderful things about what kind of a man he is. Just an outstanding leader and super guy for the Viper program. Vipers are the best back-to-back District 13 6A champions, won it in 2018, 2019. Of course, like I said, haven't lost a district game going back to before 2018. They also won the 5A UIL Lone Star Cup 2 years in a row in 2013-14 and 14-15. In that UIL Cup, that was a big thing that when Coach Steve Van Meter came to the Hippos a few years ago, he really talked about the Lone Star Cup and the importance of that. And what that is that's based on having outstanding programs throughout, in all of your different areas, not just football, but all athletic programs, but also mixing in academics as well. So Vandegrift's a very good school, academically, certainly athletically. Hippos, as they've risen up to 6A this year for the first time. Vandegrift is one of those schools the Hippos certainly want to be like. So we're going to pause just a moment for our national anthem. All right, well, we are just about set to kick off. We are having, as almost every week, some kind of technical difficulty, having issue with our crowd noise. They have a live feed here in the press box, and certainly when we tested it before the game, it was working just fine, but not working now. So we're going to sound like we're talking in a box for a little bit without any crowd noise. So we'll let Gage continue to work on that, see if he can get it figured out. I believe the Vipers are going to receive. So we will see that Viper offense come out and see what Hippos can do if they can put a stop on Tommy Hammond.
Yeah, they're gonna be tested early, for sure.
Tommy Hartman, the stud running back who scores every time he touches the ball for the Vipers. Set to kick off for the Hippos, number 43, Eduardo Fernandez. Back deep for the Vipers is number 1, Taylor Dumar. And I think for the Hippos, we've talked about their slow starts quite a bit this year, and they just really need to get off to a fast start tonight. Defensively, defense can get some stops, put their offense in good field position, then they should be in good shape. There's a ball fielded at the 40, across the 40, up near midfield. So the Vipers are set up in great field position. Number 32 on the return. That's Charles Roberts Perkins. Just kind of snuck by a couple of Hippos there.
Tried that pooch kick, caught it at the 35, and I think we were expecting that he was going to fair catch that and caught it and didn't really have anybody there in that lane to stop him.
So quarterback for the Vipers is Ryan Back. He brings his men on the field, and Hippos and Vipers kind of shake hands. Good sportsmanship here on the field as they get ready to play. And number 48, Tommy Hartman, comes onto the field for the Vipers, getting ready to fire up this crowd. Gets a round of applause as he steps onto the field. He lines up behind number 12, Ryan Back. Single receiver left. Single receiver right, snap back to back. Handoff goes to Hartman. He's across the midfield, across the 45, 40. He's got some running room, and he's going to break free. He's at the 20, at the 15, 10, 5. Tommy Hartman, touchdown, Tommy. Scores every time he touches the ball, and he does it again tonight. Touchdown, Tommy Hartman. And what a spark for the Vipers. Tommy Hartman takes it the length from the 50 to the goal line for the 51-yard touchdown. Yeah, what a neat deal. So if you just tuned in and you're not familiar with the story, Tommy Hartman's a equipment manager, 4-year equipment manager for the Vipers, and suffers from autism, and we're perfectly okay saying that. He's proud of what he does, and as are his teammates and his family. And his coach went to him last week and told him, hey, you've been with our program for 4 years. Do you want to score a touchdown? And he said, absolutely. So their coach talked to Coach LaPlante, and they worked out a deal where, Tommy Hartman got his chance to score a touchdown. So that's special.
What a cool deal there, and awesome for our guys to get to be a part of that, and just to realize that there's bigger things than football.
Absolutely. Well, we're set up to go now, and this is real life. Hippos with a pressure look, snap back-to-back, handoff up the middle, trying to push forward across midfield was number 32, Charles Roberts-Perkins. Gets across midfield to the 49-yard line, tackled by Braylon Davis of the Hippos. Picked up about 2 yards on the play, second down and 8, 11:40 to go. Just underway here in the ball game after that fun event for Tommy Hartman. Handoff again, running room across the 45, pushing forward down to the 41-yard line. Number 28, Bowen Lewis, he's their leading carrier, has 353 yards on the season. Gets the first down for the Vipers down to the 41-yard line. They line up. They like to go fast.
Yes, they do.
Put a man in motion. He lines up over on the left side. They've got 3 receivers left side, single back with back. Handoff across the 40. Lots of running room, and that's going to be a touchdown. Boy, he looked like Tommy Hartman on that play.
That one looks familiar.
Yep, Bowen Lewis broke free. He takes it the length, and that one counts. A Bowen Lewis touchdown, 11:07 to go in the first quarter. Took them no time. Found a hole and took it about 35 yards for the Viper touchdown, and that's not the start the Hippos wanted. We talked about them needing to start fast, and, didn't happen.
I was just going to say, we've got to control that line of scrimmage. They set everything up off that run, and, that's you can't let those holes get open like that.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good. 11:07, Vipers score quickly on their first possession. It's Vandegrift 7, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required. Insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium, where the Vipers have scored quickly twice. The Tommy Hartman scored.
We should have just let Tommy count.
Yeah, Tommy should have counted. But, yeah, we had the Tommy Hartman touchdown run. That was neat. But then once we went back to real play, Bowen Lewis takes it about 35 yards for the Viper touchdown, and they score quickly.
Well, let's chalk that one up to our guys not realizing that we weren't still doing the Tommy gig.
Maybe so. Well, puts a little bit of pressure on that Hippo offense, too, against a Viper defense that has been pretty relentless all year, have not given up many points, many yards. And the ball's going to bounce out of the end zone, and probably smart.
Vipers were offside, so I'm guessing Brad's probably going to want to just tack 5 yards onto this here at the end and move us up to the 30. Your favorite penalty?
Yep, offsides on a kickoff. Doesn't make any sense. And I think you're right. I think they're going to just add the 5 to the end of that. So Hippos should be able to start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Well, defense didn't step up to their end of the bargain on having a fast start.
And defense is, they're the ones that got to keep us in these games. But, hey, maybe we'll flip the script, and actually it looks like the Hippos are going to make the Vipers re-kick.
They're going to make them kick it again.
Why not? Why not let them run down there twice? And
yeah, I guess so.
Tire them out.
I have a feeling they're probably in pretty good shape. Well, there is a little bit of a wind blowing that direct, or he's kicking into a wind. Of course, he kicked that one into the end zone. So
too much on the kickoff.
Yeah, it did fine. Actually,
2 flags down. There's one on the 35 and one on the 40. I'm wondering if the rule that they enacted a few years ago where you can't be lined up more than 5 yards behind the ball, I'm wondering if a guy was also lined up too far behind the ball. I mean, either way, one of those penalties is going to get declined and one will get accepted.
Right. Both probably 5-yard penalties.
It's kind of interesting to see that penalties on both sides of the field.
So we'll do this again. Hippos have number 1, L.J. Martin, back deep, along with number 17, Damian Jones. And looks like Charlie Fournier will tee it up and kick it again.
Kind of an anticlimactic start to this game after.
Well, after Tommy's after touchdown Tommy, like you said, touchdown Tommy had a wide open touchdown run, and so did Bowen Lewis. Touchdown Tommy's was a little bit longer.
Yes, it was a little bit longer. He had a little bit louder cheering too.
So Fournier will kick it away. This one, L.J. Martin should have a chance to return this one. Fields it at the 2, brings it up to the 10, cuts right to the 15. Has a little bit of room up the middle and to the 25-yard line. Actually, Hippos would have had it at the 25 if they had declined that last penalty. I think they're going to probably start at the 24.
Well, would have had it at the 30.
Start them right at the 25. Oh, that's true. Yeah, they would have had it at the 30 if they'd taken that penalty.
Boy, I thought he was going to find a crease there.
Had a hole in it, closed pretty fast.
He is quick though. That's kind of that's our first look really at LJ's speed, and boy, he has some acceleration.
Yeah, last week was his first game to be eligible for the Hippos. So yeah, we'll see if they can mix him into the offense. He is starting.
He's out there at receiver. And
so Grayson Doggett does start at quarterback for the Hippos. J.J. Banks in the backfield, swinging it to Banks out of the backfield and can't corral it. Well, they're going to say incomplete. Yeah, J.J. Well, right off the bat, the Hippos already have made a couple of mistakes, and against a Vandegrift team that just kind of steamrolls everybody, you can't.
No, they're one of those teams like you mentioned, we were talking before the game, Hippos got to play a perfect game here, and boy, it's not starting off that way. You got to make those catches, you got to make those blocks.
So second down and 10 for the Hippos. 2 receivers left side, 2 right. Banks in the backfield with Doggett. Put a man in motion. Gary Choice going from right to left. Trying to run a little jet sweep with Gary, but he's not going to get outside. That Viper pursuit can be brought down for about a 2-yard loss back at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and that Viper defense, we didn't talk much about them pregame. It was all about the offense. They've given up 21, 7, 14, 0, 6, and 7. So this is a tough, pretty stout defense in a pretty good offensive league. So
yeah, and you don't want to be in third and long situations against them, and that's immediately where the Hippos find themselves. Third down, 11 yards needed, 10-19 to go in the first quarter. Grayson straight drop, throwing over the middle. It's had Gary Choice wide open at the 40-yard line, led him by about a half a yard too much. Gary made a dive for it, couldn't haul it in, so the Hippos go 3 and out and will punt. But
I'm not
he
sure.
did have him open right there in the middle.
He had him open, and I think Gary, he saw the safety, number 16, Reese Beauchamp, and I think he kind of held up at the end and short-armed that one.
So Evan Gutierrez will drop back in punt formation for the Hippos. Viper's going to come out of this one probably in pretty good field position. Fair caught at the 46-yard line by number 13, Clayton Moore. And, yeah, they are going to have fantastic field position at the 46. So this has not started in any kind of way the way the Hippos wanted it to start.
It's actually worse field position than they had in the first drive.
Yeah, well, that's true. But Hippo defense, so they've had one look at this Viper offense. Now they need to make some quick adjustments and get a stop here early on. You don't want to fall behind too far too soon. Black shifts 2 men. And that's one of the things they do is they shift a lot. Snap back to Black, handoff. Running up the middle is number 4, Ryan Shepard. Picks up a couple of yards. Ryan Shepard has 492 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's kind of their go-to guy with 78 carries. He doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield a lot. That's Bo and Lewis. They rely more on him for that. So that's could be a good tell for the Hippos. Now it's a matter of stopping it.
Yeah, back has both men in the backfield with him this time, both Shepard and Lewis. Snap back, looking to throw. Has a pass complete across midfield to the 48-yard lines. Number 80, Graylin Spring. Going to be short of the first down by about 3 or 4 yards. So opportunity right here for the Hippo defense to get a stop early on, and they need to.
Yeah, if nothing else, build some confidence and know that you can play with these guys. I mean, you see some of the scores that they put up, and it's tempting to get intimidated early on. But you can get a couple stops and realize, hey, we're the same as these guys.
Third down, 4 yards needed. Man in motion going from right to left. Now set up on that left side. 2 backs in the backfield with back. He's looking to throw. Throws over the middle. It's over the hands. Intended for number 1, Taylor Dumar. So good job by the Hippo defense to get that stop. Set up a 4th down situation. And tell you, Vandegrift, yeah. That's hard to say. They might think about going for it, but I don't think so this early on. They're going to.
That was really well played there by Jalen Parkinson. He's a guy that we've really seen come on in the last 2 weeks, and out of that outside linebacker position, he kind of followed Taylor Dumar the whole way and was able to turn around and force that errant throw and a 3-and-out.
Tell you what, Hippos are a little probably concerned about a fake punt because they have nobody back deep. And the punt is away. End over end punt, going to bounce at the 20. Takes a Hippo bounce backwards. Killed by the Vipers at about the 18-yard line, where Hutto will set up 1st and 10 on their second possession, trailing 7-0. But good job by the Hippo defense to get that 3-and-out after giving up the big run for the touchdown on their first possession.
Yeah, and if you're the offense, you've got to find some sort of rhythm here. Maybe get a couple first downs at least, and just see some success. You've got to, if you're a receiver, you've got to help Grayson out. I know we talk about this every week, and now same story, right? You've got to catch those footballs and do what you can with that.
2 receivers right, single receiver left. Doggett with Kyron Miller in the backfield, rolling to his right, swings a pass. Oh, my goodness. And dropped again, and again, right in the hands, Gary Choice. And, yeah, I mean, that would only have been a pickup of 3 or 4, but that's 3 or 4 positive yards. But instead now you're 2nd and 10, and yeah, those are easy passes. Easy passes to catch right there.
And not even just the yardage. It's the confidence of seeing your guys catch the ball, of seeing your fellow receivers catch the ball. That it's contagious.
2nd down and 10 for the Hippos. A little pressure look by the Vipers. Snap back to Doggett. This time he's going to roll to his left, throwing down that left sideline, overthrows his man intended for number 7, Jay Lambert. That one really never had a chance. So, again, a 3rd and long situation for the Hippos. 2 possessions in a row. They've faced a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, their first one. And you just can't do that against a defense like this.
We've talked about how good of a defense they have, and you are going to have those 3-and-outs. You cannot be consistent, and especially when you're backed up against your own goal line. You've got to get some yardage.
Kyron Miller in the backfield with Doggett. Straight drop, looking, throwing over the middle. It's Jay Lambert. He's got it at the 35-yard line. Going to be enough for a Hippo first down. So good job by Grayson to stand in there waiting for Jay to break free. And there's a big play for the Hippo offense. And they try to run quickly, set up on that near side, short side, throwing down that left side. And over Jay Lambert's head, it was actually deflected by number 24 of the Vipers, Griffin Schaefer.
Yeah, he was from that corner position. I think Grayson was waiting for him to stay shallow, and he bailed early and kind of followed Jay on that go route. Grayson was trying to find him in that hole and right through the hands of the cornerback Griffin Schaefer there.
2nd down and 10, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Blitz look from the Vipers on this right side of the defense. And off goes to Kyron Miller. He's got a little bit of running room across the 40, runs over a man at the 45, and going to have just enough for the Hippo first down. Kyron Miller ran straight forward, lowered his shoulder, and ran over a Viper.
Boy, that's good to see.
Yes, it is. Hippo first down in Viper territory. And off goes to Miller. He's got another bit of running room across midfield. I was mistaken. I thought the other one was the midfield. This time it's midfield, and he crosses that now into Viper territory. Pickup of 7 yards, 2nd down and 3.
It. We got 12 minutes. They get a timeout,
I think they called a timeout before the Hippos could get that ball snapped.
Yeah, they were going fast. We didn't sub, and the Vipers tried to sub. Normally you see offense subs, and the officials have to give that defense a time to sub as well. And when we're going fast like that, that's up to the defense to try to get their men in and out. And, boy, I thought we were going to get that snap off.
Yeah, they almost did. We're at 7:51 to go in the first quarter. Hippos trailing 7-0. Vipers scored on their very first possession. Of course, they had the Tommy Hartman touchdown that was a special occasion for him. And then for real, then they had Bowen Lewis with a long touchdown run to put them up 7-0. Hippos went 3 and out on their first possession and then held the Vipers to a punt. And now the Hippos, in their second possession, driving the ball just a little bit.
Yeah, looking good and kind of showing some confidence. And, one more time going back to that Tommy thing. I believe that, we should just go ahead and count that touchdown from Tommy. Go ahead and put that one in the stats.
Yeah, I think that that might be the one that we should do. So after that timeout, Hippos will come out, second down and 3 yards needed. Two receivers left side, 2 right. Kyron Miller in the backfield with Doggett. Kyron's run hard first couple of carries. Now Hippos look over, get a change of the call. Grayson throwing deep down the right side, and it's underthrown. And a good job by
Damian Jones.
Damian Jones to go up and knock it away, keep it from being picked off.
Yeah, turned into a defender. Kind of underthrown there by Grayson. And, I think Damian actually had a step, but, we mentioned earlier there's some wind, and it looks like it was kind of at our back. But, like we said, good job there by Damian to turn into a good defender and knock that ball away, keep it from interception.
So third down, 3 yards needed for the Hippos. Got to get this first down. You've had a nice little drive so far, and you got to pick up this 3. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Handoff goes to Kyron Miller. Now this time, instead of going straight up, he tries to bounce it outside, and he ends up losing 2 yards. And Kyron Miller is not effective when he tries to carry the ball wide, and that's going to force the Hippos to have to punt after what would look like a very promising drive.
I will say I think that was probably the right bounce that time. He had heavy pressure in the inside, and he was definitely not going to get that first down going through the middle. Obviously not going to get the first down going on the outside either there. So
and of course you can do the old second guess all night long, but when you had second down and 3, I'm not sure the deep pass was probably the right thing. You were having some success running the ball. There's a punt fielded. No, he's going to let it go at the 10. Hippos are going to kill it right about the 10-yard line. So good punt by Evan Gutierrez, pinned the Vipers back. But, yeah, the Hippos look like they were having some success running the ball. And then
but you see that so often, with the second down and short, a lot of times coaches figure, hey, let's take a shot deep here because we've got third down and possibly fourth down to convert this first. And the one thing you can't then do on third and short is lose yardage there. And unfortunately, the Vipers got such a push in the middle and forced Kyron outside, which ultimately resulted in the loss of yardage and forced the Hippos to punt.
6:57 to go in the first quarter. Vandegrift set up 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Back, hands off, across the 10, up near the 17-yard lines. Number 4, Ryan Shepard. We said Back had 999 yards coming in, only needed 1 to pass 1,000. Ryan Shepard had 492 rushing, and I think he's probably past 500 now. Hand off to Shepard. Kicking it outside's got a little bit of room across the 20, 23-yard line.
This one's coming back. We're going to get a hold on Braylon Sugg.
Well, that's nice. Well, those are the kind of breaks the Hippos need. They've kind of gone against Hutto a couple of times this year, and this is an opportunity for the Hippos to take advantage of mistakes by the other team. So move them back to the 8-yard line, looks like.
I believe so.
Set up second down and 12.
Well, and we talked about it before that last offensive drive that we've really got to at least get a couple first downs, try to flip the field, and we did exactly that. And, if you can kind of go back and forth and play that field position game, I like our chances with our defense. Obviously, this Viper defense is stellar as well,
Sure.
But we've got a couple playmakers on offense that can break one loose. And
if you can just kind of hang close, hang in the game, and then
builds your
get a
confidence.
turnover, something can happen to go your way, it could pull a big upset. Hand off to Shepard. Across the 10, brought down at the 14-yard line. So it's still going to be about 5 yards needed for the Vipers with 6:05 to go here in the first quarter. They lead it 7-0 over the Hutto Hippos. Yeah, ball spotted at the 15. They need the 20. So, yeah, let's get a stop here, or better yet, how about a pick?
Yeah, it's just long enough that we might see a pass here, so it's kind of sack time.
Back with a play action, gets some pressure. Now he's going to scramble, and he's going to be brought down by the Hippos inside the 10, back at the 9-yard line.
Like I said.
There you go. Landon Watson, Brody Bueno in on the sack of Mr. Back.
Yeah, Brody came in from behind, chased him down, and he saw Landon in front of him, and so kind of slowed up just in time for Brody to get there. And good job there by Brody to not horse collar. A lot of times you see those guys coming in from behind, and it's so tempting just to grab the back of those shoulder pads and yank them down and give them that free 15. Did it cleanly, and Hippos are set up to get some good field position here.
Gary Choice stands inside the 50 to receive the punt. Some heavy pressure by the Hippos. Oh, I think they said it was deflected. Good, because they ran into the punter. Ball's still going to cross midfield. Boy. Gary got to get up there and field that.
Where's that ball going to end up if we don't deflect that?
I know. I tell you, I talked to Brad this week, too, about how Gary had done such a good job of fielding those punts and saving us a lot of field position, but he wasn't able to grab that one. But, yeah, fortunately for the Hippos, they deflected it because they did run into the punter.
Speaking of which, did Brad ever get a clarification on what happened last week?
He said he has no idea. Yep. Yeah. No idea. So, but great field position for the Hippos. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. They moved it into Viper territory on their last possession. Empty backfield for Grayson Doggett. 3 receivers right side, 2 receivers left. L.J. Martin on the little jet sweep. He's got a little bit of room across midfield, 45, and going to be brought down at the 44, pickup of 9 yards. It's that little push pass from Grayson. That's like the easiest pass in the world for a quarterback.
Right there.
Exactly.
Well, that and having a guy like L.J. Martin back as another weapon at the receiving core is just huge. We had him back last week, but kind of wanted to get him integrated into the offense slowly and look to see him a lot more tonight.
2nd down and 1 at the 44-yard line. Martin again goes in motion from left to right. Hand off to J.J. Banks, pushing forward. He's right at the line needed for the first down. I think it is going to be enough. Yep, first down for the Hippos. 4:11 to go in the first quarter. Hippos trail it 7-0, but they've had a little bit of success offensively their last possession, and here they are. They've moved it into Viper territory at the 43-yard line. So showing some flashes of some things that you can feel good about.
Yeah, no, for sure.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Banks in the backfield with Doggett. Snap back, straight drop, looking, throwing over the middle, throwing into traffic and deflected. Boy, Grayson got lucky there as he had Gary Choice over the middle, but he had about 3 Vipers in the vicinity as well.
He did, but I will say Grayson's throwing the ball a lot more confidently across the middle than he was before he was out those couple weeks. I think he's seen what he can do and his receivers can do if he puts it in the right spot, and he's putting a little more zip on it, not leaving it low, and that's good to see.
2nd down and 10 at the 43-yard line. This time Hippos put 3 receivers left side, single receiver on the short side of the field. Faking the handoff to Kyron Miller, throwing over the middle. He's got a man, L.J. Martin, at the 20-yard line. Going to be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Ball got away, but I think he was already down, and he was able to fall back on it anyway. So 1st and 10 for the Hippos in the red zone at the 19-yard line, 3:33 to go in the first quarter.
And good find there by Grayson. Safeties both split wide, and LJ just kept on running. If Grayson puts that ball in the air, he's probably scoring 6 there, but good job just to corral it and at least get inside the red zone.
Pressure look by the Vipers. Snap back, Grayson rolling to his right. He's going to just throw that one out of bounds. Pretty smart by Grayson to get rid of that. Vipers were bringing heavy pressure on him.
Brought heavy pressure and kind of some miscommunication there, I think, from Kyron Miller, knowing which guy he was supposed to block. He chose neither, which is the wrong choice. And
neither is always the wrong choice in that situation. Certainly, maybe sometimes on a test, neither is right, but
yeah,
neither not right.
You don't want to split the difference on those two.
3:15 to go in the first quarter. Hippos with it 2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line. Viper into the field. Handoff goes to Kyron Miller. Kind of finds a little bit of a hole, cutting it outside. Only picks up about 2 yards down to the 17, and 3rd down long situation. If you're Hutto here, now you need to be really careful because
you do.
You want to at least come away with points.
Right.
You got a field goal kicker that can do that.
Exactly. You've got a kicker that you can trust, but obviously you'd also love 6 or, so.
So 3rd down, 7 yards needed. Carson Forrest split right on the short side of the field. 2 receivers left. Kyron Miller in the backfield with Doggett. Doggett going to roll to his left, throw into the left corner, but couldn't get his man intended for Gary Choice in the corner. But
down.
again,
I don't think it would have counted anyway. Gary actually had some space out there, and the timing was off just a little bit. If Grayson puts that ball a little bit higher, or Gary gets off the line a little quicker, he might catch that for 6.
This might be an interesting decision by the Vipers. Do you push the Hippos back 10 yards and make a 3rd and even longer, and then potentially what would be a longer field goal, or do you decline it and create the field goal situation here? It's chop block.
Yeah, 15 yards, you got to push them back.
Yeah, I thought it was a hold, but 15, you definitely have to take it. Boy, Hippos got to be really careful that they're not going to take themselves out of at least field goal position.
Yeah, at this point, you're not even thinking 1st down. You're thinking something 15, 20 yards.
Right now, you're 3rd down and 17. No, more than 17. 3rd down and probably 22 at the 33-yard line. Yeah, Evan probably needs to be – you probably need to get the ball down to the 25 to have a decent shot at a field goal. Snap back to Doggett, trying to set up a screen pass, and J.J. Banks can't haul it in, just falls out of his hands. So it's going to be 4th down. Boy, the Hippos had it. At one point, they had it 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Now they're faced with 4th and a lot at the 33-yard line, and Vandegrift into the field. And, well, I don't know. What do you do here?
Boy, I mean, you could punt it and gain 10 yards or throw something up.
They're going to go for it and just probably throw it up. Or maybe Grayson will quick kick it.
Yeah, or, throw it up and one of 3 things.
Draw
pass interference, a drop, or an interception, which is better than a punt.
Yeah, I think Grayson's going to kick it now as he backs up. Vandegrift expecting that. A little quick kick by Grayson. Bounces at the 20 and going to roll out of bounds at the 19-yard line. So it's going to – he kicked it back to where the Hippos had it 1st and 10 at the 19. So that's unfortunate. Hippo offense was moving the ball, and then once again, as has happened often this year, a very, very critical penalty catches them at the wrong time, knocks them out of field goal range, and they come away empty.
Yeah, and it's never a 5 or 10 yard pit. It's always the 15-yarders that just completely push you out of any options.
So Vandegrift will set up 1st and 10 at their own 19. 2:03 to go here in the first quarter. They lead it 7-0. Little stoppage of play.
It does make you wonder. I don't know if you've ever gotten this information from Brad, but what is Evan Gutierrez's kind of what's his range? Because we were at the 31. You're looking like a 48-yard field goal with some wind.
Wind at his back. Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's kind of coming more across the field, but
yeah, and it's probably one of those you just don't want to.
You don't want to get it blocked,
you don't want to give them really great field position. I'm not sure what the delay is here. Officials are kind of looking at the clock. There was 2:03, and now it says 1:57. So maybe they've got the maybe they're trying to reset the time. No, it's 2:10.
2:10 is what he just said.
Okay. So 2:10 left in the first quarter. Now I think we're ready to roll. Vandegrift 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Shepard in the backfield with back. 2 receivers left side. They stack them. Fake the handoff. Dropping straight back. He's got a lot of time now. He's got pressure. Throwing deep. He's got a man wide open at midfield. Outside to the 40. Cuts back inside to the 35-yard line. Number 1, Taylor Dumar. Got behind the Hippo defender. I think that was Theo Anderson that
they kind of baited him. They've been running that short run play all game.
And then there was no pressure on back. He had all day waiting for him to break open. So 1st and 10 all the way down to the Hippo 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Shepard. Tries to dance and weave and find a little bit of running room. He does. Pushes it forward to the 25-yard line, and Hutto into the field, pickup of 6. Yeah, you just, you can't give him – he had 999 yards passing coming into this game, and you can't give him that much time to wait for his receivers to break open. Snap back to back. Now he's got pressure. Going to scramble to his right and hit hard at the 25-yard line, brought down by a couple of Hippos. Brody Bueno in on the tackle along with number 22, Anthony Martinez, the machine.
The machine.
So big stop by the Hippo defenders. Make it 3rd down and 5. Loss of 2 on the play. It makes all the difference in the world when they get pressure on that quarterback.
Well, and going back to that long pass play, they kept 8 in to block. So, that was their design the whole time. They had a receiver lined up at the top of the field, and he came all the way across. And sometimes they get lost when that's that opposite side safety.
Hippos jump off sides. It's going to be a free play for the Vandegrift Vipers. They know it, and they throw it to the front corner of the end zone. It's incomplete, intended for number 1, Taylor Dumar.
Right through his hands, too.
Yep, but the Hippos were offside, so instead of a 3rd down and 5, boy, it's going to be really close. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's going to be enough for the first down. It's right at 5 yards. Once again, a critical mistake by the Hippos. They've had one on offense. Now they have one on defense. 3rd down and 5 situation. They jump off sides, and they've just been their own worst enemy so many times.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell who it was that jumped there. That's kind of one of those things that comes with getting a lot of pressure and getting those good jumps off of the ball is, sometimes you're a little bit eager and you will jump offside.
So 39 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Vandegrift gets the easy first down on that one. Move it down to the Hippo 21-yard line, 1st and 10. 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff goes to Lewis at the 20. And nice job by the Hippo defender, Joseph Teagle, to knife him down and stop him for about a 3-yard loss.
No. Gain.
What?
Gain. 3-yard gain.
No, what did I say, loss? Thanks. That's why you're here. 15 seconds left. Looks like they'll have time for at least another play. Shepard in the backfield with back, 3 receivers right side. Snap back, handoff goes to Shepard. He's got running room across the 15. Hippos corral him down at the 12. Going to be short of the first down by a yard, and the clock will run out. And that'll be the end of the first period. Not a bad first period for the Hippos. They had some chances. They only trail at 7-0, but you feel like they could be much more in this game than they are.
It feels like we've kind of outplayed them.
Yeah, I think they maybe did, but just two critical mistakes that one on offense, one on defense, and Hippos are going to have to figure out ways to overcome those. We've played one here at Monroe Stadium in Leander. It's Vandegrift 7, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
Clausen Disposal supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium and Leander, where the Hippos trail at 7-0 after one quarter against the Vandegrift Vipers, a quarter that the Hippos really played very well. Vipers had one big play on offense that they ran for a touchdown, and then Hippos had a bad play on offense, a chop block that pushed them out of field goal range, and then just had an offsides penalty on defense that gave the Vipers an easy first down. And now we sit at 3rd down and 1 yard needed with the Vipers and the ball at the Hutto 12-yard line. They've got a little power backfield in right now. Number 90, Juan Gutierrez, comes in as a blocking back for number 5, Austin Skoglin, and number 4, Ryan Shepard. So figure that the handoff is probably going to Shepard with one of these guys blocking for him. Now they're going to run a wildcat formation as quarterback back moves out and sets up over on the left side. There is that Wildcat, and across the 5, pushing forward towards the goal line and going to be brought down at the 1-yard line. So they run that Wildcat to Ryan Shepard. Hippos looked like they had a chance to stop him, but he found a hole and takes it all the way down to the 1 where it'll be 1st and goal for the Vipers with 11:50 to go in the second quarter. They lead at 7-0, looking to tack on another one. This time they set up in a power formation. Quarterback back just moves forward on a quarterback sneak and powers it into the end zone, waiting for the signal. Pretty sure he got across, and he did. Touchdown, Vandegrift, with 11:34 to go to stretch their lead to 13-0 with the PAT to come. Well, that was set up by the Wildcat run by Ryan Shepard to get him down to the 1. Of course, it was really set up by that Hippo offsides.
Yep.
Yeah. So Fournier on to attempt the extra point. He's 28 of 29 on the year. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good.
Boy, he's got a lot of leg.
Yeah, he does. 11:34 to go in the second quarter. It's now Vandegrift 14, Hutto nothing. Listen to Hutto Hippo football on SHN Sports.
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium and Leander, where the Hippos fall behind 14-0 with 11:34 to go in the second quarter. And again, Ryan, like you said, you feel like the Hippos have, I mean, if anything, you feel like this should be a pretty even game, but just a couple of crucial mistakes have opened the door for a Vandegrift team that's won 20 district games in a row going back for the last 3 years that you cannot
mistakes
help.
that you can't make, and that's just kind of been – that's been our kryptonite this year is moving the ball between the 20s and then not being able to finish those drives, either turnover, a penalty, or just maybe going forward on 4th down, whatever it is, just not scoring and finishing off those good drives between the 20s, and especially against a team like Vandegrift, that's just something that you've got to take care of.
So Fournier gonna kick it away. He's got that wind at his back, and like you said, Ryan, he's got a strong leg. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one go out of the back of the end zone. Standing back deep for the Hippos is L.J. Martin, along with number 17, Damian Jones. So I'm sure Fournier will probably give this one a big boot. High kick, and certainly out of the back of the end zone on one bounce. So Hutto will set up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line, and they've been able to have a little bit of success offensively against this Viper defense, but just haven't been able to sustain it. And as we've said on multiple occasions, just a couple of big mistakes that have taken away scoring opportunity for the Hippos. Grayson Doggett has looked good in his return after being out for the last 2 weeks. He'll come back on the field. Kyron Miller will be in the backfield with him. 2 receivers on the left side, 2 are on the right. 3-man front for the Vipers with a blitz look. Now they back off. And going to be a flag and a delay of game against the Hippos, which just you can't have a delay of game. You come out after a kickoff, you got to be ready to have a play called and go, and you get a delay of game before you've ever even snapped the ball. So that's almost as bad as the penalty on the kickoff is a delay right after the kickoff. Snap back to Doggett, looking left, throwing left. It's got Gary Choice at the 28-yard line, going to give him forward progress to there. So pickup of about 8 yards on the play, second down and 7 yards needed. Yeah, Ryan, you had stepped out for just a second, and I said the Hippos had a delay a game after the kickoff, which one of those you
again, probably
almost
second favorite penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Hand off to Kyron Miller, and he stopped. Instead of running it straight forward, he takes it lateral. And then,
and worse is he regains
instead of
his footing and
instead
tries
of just
to go
having
back.
forward progress, then he runs backwards, and they're going to say, instead of giving him that forward progress, they're going to mark him back at the 19-yard line. So when you're Kyron in a situation like that, just go down. There's no sense fighting for extra yards there.
You can't fault him for fighting for those yards, but like you said, that's the smart play is just to take your losses and realize let's just go down here.
Third down and 16 for the Hippos, so this one not going the right way. Snap back to Grayson, looking left, throwing. Well, Jay Lambert stopped his route. Grayson thought he was running deep. Jay stopped his route, and it just goes out of bounds over everybody's head. So that was an ugly series for the Hippos. Well, now you're in trouble because you're about to give Vandegrift the ball in really good field position. You find yourself down 14-0. You really can't go down more than 2 scores to a team like this, so going to put a lot of pressure on your defense right here.
Yeah, and just, again, mistakes and a decent first down play and then a negative second down play just keeps you behind the chains.
Snap back to Gutierrez, and pretty short punt. Bounces at the 45, takes a Vandegrift bounce, kicks backwards to the 40, and that's where Vandegrift's going to start plus territory at the Hippo 40-yard line, already leading 14-0 with 10:13 to go in the first half.
And again, not that it really matters, but these punts have their one punt and our 3 punts have the bounces have not been favorable. I'll say that.
No, they haven't. First and 10 at the 40, snap back-to-back, setting up looks like a double pass, throwing deep, left sidelines, got a man. It caught inside the 10 and brought down. It's number 3, Cooper Dupree.
We got a flag down at the 7. It looked like, was that Theo Anderson was in position to go and maybe pick that ball off, and then at the last second decided he was just going to turn and try to defend that the pass out of the air.
I think it's probably an interference call, I guess.
I'm sure, but
doesn't matter. He caught the pass.
It sure looked like he was in good position.
Yeah, thought so. Yep, just a little double pass. Threw it out to who was that? Number 80, I think, Graylin Spring.
Yep. And
Graylin Spring just threw it long down that left sideline. Here's an interesting formation for the Vandegrift Vipers.
I think who was it? Was it Michigan that did this a few years ago? Lined up all 11 guys behind the ball and split them off from there.
Yep. Well, just an interesting look for your defense because then you have to react really quickly. Back's going to go under center. And 2 men in motion. Guess they got set. Snap back-to-back. Handoff to Shepard across the 5. Pushes forward. That's a touchdown for Vandegrift. Hippo's defense just really – I don't think they had any idea what was going on right there.
They adjusted, and then when Vandegrift went in motion again, sent 2 guys at the other side of the line. We sent nobody with them, so all of a sudden they've got the numbers then on that strong side, and he was untouched into the end zone.
So 9:46 to go in the second quarter, and Vandegrift has taken what was a really close game in the first quarter and is threatening to just completely blow this one open. Fournier on to attempt the extra point, snap back. Oh, going to have a little fire drill here. Throwing the 2-point conversion is complete. Well, when it goes bad, it just goes bad, right? It's like you thought you were maybe going to stop an extra point, and instead they run the fire drill and complete the pass for a 2-point conversion.
Well, and that's why when
you're
playing a team like this, you've got to capitalize on the opportunities that you have. You can't just shoot yourself in the foot like we have early on, and a team like this will make you pay for it, and they have 3 times now.
9:46 to go in the second quarter, and like I said, it was with 11:34 to go in the second quarter, it was 7-0, and just like that, Vandegrift has put 2 quick scores on the board and has really widened this one out to a place that if you're the Hippos, you have to still try to just chip away and get back in it. But against a Vandegrift team that doesn't give up many points and scores a lot, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to say it with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. This almost feels like a must score, right? Just for confidence sake and for scoring sake.
Another deep kick. Well, I think Fournier's. I think his goal is to try to kick that through the goalpost on a kickoff.
Yeah, do we know how old he is? He's got to be
25.
Well, no, I was gonna say I wonder if he's gonna go end up playing somewhere because that is a tremendous leg. I'm not sure about the accuracy. Obviously, his extra points have been great, stellar all year. I think he's now 29 of 30, and he's only had to kick one field goal, and he made that one a 43-yarder.
Hippos need to find somebody that'll step up and be a leader on this team right now because you're down 22-0. You've got some receivers who have had some frustration, and you got to get a good drive going right here. You had a couple earlier in the ball game, couldn't get some points out of them. Handoff goes to J.J. Banks, and he's going to get nothing. They're going to give him 1 to the 26 forward progress. But yeah, you've just got to somebody's got to step up and lead this team and get a spark for the Hippos.
And going with a little bit of a different look than we've seen. We see Carson Forrest actually lined up out at wide receiver. A lot of times he's down at slot or tight end, and you don't know what they're going to end up doing with that, but just trying something new.
Banks in the backfield with Doggett, single receiver left, 2 receivers right. Kyron Miller sets up on that slot on the left side as a blocker. Grayson rolls to his right. Yeah, and that time Grayson didn't give Gary Choice a chance to catch the ball. Grayson just kind of threw that one into the ground.
No, and that kind of goes back to all the drop passes. I mean, obviously that one was not a drop, but when you don't have the confidence in the receivers that they're going to catch it, you start trying to maybe try a little too hard to make the plays yourself or put the ball in the perfect position and aim it a little bit. And I think just another instance there, Grayson aiming it and put it in the dirt.
3rd down, 9 needed for the Hippos. Choice goes in motion from left to right. Grayson, watch out from the backside. Throwing deep down the right side. It's intercepted at the 45. Return to the 40, to the 35, and inside Hippo 35-yard line. Number 9, Jackson Oliver on the pick. And I think it goes from bad to worse for the Hippos. And Grayson got hit hard from that backside.
He got up, walking away. He's fine. But, yeah, he didn't see that one coming. And I'm not really sure where he was. I don't know. Was that Jay Lambert down there maybe? But also 3 Viper defenders and just right to the waiting safety.
Well, and I think Grayson probably had to he knew that pressure was coming from the backside,
yeah, gotta get rid of it,
he had to get rid of it. But unfortunately, that pick is going to set Vandegrift up in great field position at the 31-yard line. And so 2 possessions in a row, they've been in plus territory, and this one's getting away from the Hippos pretty quickly. 8:55 to go in the first half. Hutto trailing 22-0. Vandegrift, again, 2-time defending 25-6A district champs, undefeated both of those years. They've won 20 district games in a row, and you see why. I mean, they have built a solid program here.
Yeah, and they don't make a lot of mistakes, and they do capitalize on your mistakes.
Really, in so many ways, remind me of Cedar Park in a lot of the things that they do. Empty backfield for back. Well, they do a lot of motion and moving guys around, too. Back with a quick pass over the middle is complete down to the 15-yard line, caught by number 25, Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, a lot of motion and not a lot of adjustments from our guys. And I wonder if they're moving around so much, and kind of their game plan is maybe get the defense thinking too much. And so, Coach Harvey, I'm sure, probably told these guys, hey, let's just play our game and don't try to fly around and adjust as much as they do. But boy, they sure play the numbers game and get the right guys in the right positions.
Yeah, they do. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, empty backfield, 4 back. Now put a man in motion, little jet sweep, fake that. Back's going to keep it and going to be brought down after a pickup of a yard down to the 14-yard line. Good job by the Hippos to stop that one. But, yeah, they just they run a lot of confusion. They run they just do a lot of things. And like I said, it's so similar to the kind of stuff Cedar Park does. They're fundamentally sound. They're physical. They wear the black uniforms like Cedar Park does. It's
with the silver face masks.
Yeah,
it's a pretty sharp look.
Yeah, it is. And when you're a good team, it's even sharper. 2nd down and 9 for the Vipers at the 14-yard line, and Hippo into the field. Again, empty backfield for back. Puts a man in motion. Straight drop, looking, throwing left corner, and it is.
Wow.
Boy, did he catch that? What a catch. Number 4, Ryan Shepard. Boy, in that back corner, I thought for sure he was going to be out of bounds, or I thought the Hippos had a chance to even tip it away, and he caught that, and I guess he got a foot down. We'll see the replay. We couldn't really see the replay on the big board.
From up here, I thought he caught that. And, I mean, Theo Anderson was in excellent position and jumped up, and the ball just right over the top of his fingers and right into the waiting arms of Ryan Shepard, who does a great job of just laying out and keeping those feet in, dragging the toes for the 6.
Sometimes you just have to say, wow. Snap back, hold down, kick up good by Fournier. 7:33 to go in the first half. It's now Vandegrift 29, Hutto nothing. Listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
7:33 to go in the first half. Hippos in a deeper hole now, 29-0 they trail. And, first quarter, Hippos played really well, did the things they needed to do except for one mistake. And from that point on,
it really
it is
felt
just
good. And then 4.5 minutes later.
Yeah.
And 22 points later.
Well, and this is where you want to see guys keep playing hard because, oftentimes it's easy to hang your head and kind of quit. So see what the Hippos, how they can respond. There's a kickoff. Oh, my goodness. L.J. Martin's going to pick it up off the deflection at the 10. He's got a 15 and a 20-yard line, but – boy.
Yeah, LJ was there to catch it, and Damian Jones came in from that right side, and, just kind of a miscommunication. And, to be fair, those guys have not been back there all year together. This is the first game that we've seen them both back there, and you'd rather both try to catch it than neither one. And, Damian trying to make a play and maybe catch it on the run and get a head start, but unfortunately kind of overran it and tipped it, and fortunate to get the ball back to the 20-yard line.
Fortunate to be starting at the 20-yard line. So that's where the Hippos will be, 1st and 10 at the 20.
Looks like Will Hammond is in at
Will
quarterback.
Hammond in at quarterback, 3 receivers right, single receiver left. Banks in the backfield with Hammond. Straight drop, looking over the middle, and that's intercepted at the 30 to the 25 and returned to the 20-yard line. Wow, it has just fallen completely apart for the Hippos. Will just threw that one right into the hands of number 6, Ty Jordan. Returns it to the 21-yard line, and Vandegrift will set up 1st and 10 at the 21. So just nothing going right.
No.
And a team like Vandegrift, you've given them the ball at your 21, at your 31, at your 40 on the last 3 possessions, and they will obviously make you pay for it.
Well, we talked about it again before the game. Obviously, this is it's not a must-win game for the Hippos, which is good because
I think at this point it's a must survive.
It's get through the next.
It's a survive and don't get so down
minutes,
that you can't bounce back next week. You can't let Vandegrift beat you twice. And off running up the middle to the 15-yard lines, number 28, Bowen Lewis. Down to the 15-yard line.
Right,
second down.
You've got to find something positive. And I mean, shoot, we've still got 3 quarters of a game to play. There's a lot of time to find some positives to kind of eat back into this lead, and just you can't do it all at once. You got to take it slowly, and boy, it's just it starts with the offense, obviously.
Yeah, got to build. Pressure look by the Hippo defense, and they going to wrap up back before he can turn it up. Thought they were going to be able to get him for about a 2-yard loss. He's able to squeeze it back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Vipers.
Yeah, back tried to bounce it outside and ran into Landon Watson waiting there. Wisely decided to turn it upfield.
Yeah.
Back to the line of scrimmage.
6:20 to go in the first half. Hutto trailing 29-0. Back has Bowen Lewis in the backfield with him. He splits 2 receivers to the right. Pressure look by the Hippos. They're bringing the pressure. Finds a pass out in that right flat.
I think we're going to get offensive pass interference here.
Yeah, run a little pick play. Braden Buchanan was the receiver for no gain.
Yeah,
did they run a little
Taylor
pick?
Dumar was basically blocking 5-6 yards downfield. We'll see.
Yeah, not sure. Now do you want to – oh, they're waving off the
waving
flag.
Interesting. You know what? I believe he caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay. Well, it would have been an interesting decision had it been the penalty, because do you keep it at 4th and 5? Would you have kept it at 4th and 5 and forced the field goal attempt, or would you move them back to make it 3rd down and what would have been 3rd and 15, but knowing how potent they are?
Well,
doesn't matter now. Fournier will attempt the field goal. Going to place it down at the 24, be a 34-yard field goal attempt.
That's a chip shot for
Yeah,
him.
Seriously. Yep, that's an extra point for from what we've seen of his leg.
Go ahead and put 3 on the board.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up. Yeah, he just kind of punched that one right through. 5:34 to go in the first half. It's now Vandegrift 32, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
Is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required, insured by NCUA.
$5:34 to go in the first half. Hippos now trail 32-0. And, I think games like this are hard to call because you kind of start running out of ways to be encouraging. But I think you just got to take it a possession at a time and find, like you said, Ryan, find some positives to try to build on. And you have 2 games left after this one that can still make the playoffs, but you can't let this one just completely destroy your confidence and everything else.
Can't let it get out of hand. And going back to that last possession, defense was put in a tough position and did a good job of holding the Vipers to a field goal. You got to count that one as a win. And those are the little things that we just previously talked about. Is you've got to find things to build on, and that's a good thing going forward. Like,
tell you what, you have a kicker like Ryan Fournier too for Vandegrift or Charlie Fournier, and it's like you don't ever have to worry about the other team having good field position. You just kick it out of the end zone every time.
Right.
Hand off to Kyron Miller. Tries to find a hole on the right side. Picked up about 2 yards to the 27, 2nd down and 8. It's just kind of the same old song and dance for the Hippos, right? Every possession's like 2nd down and 8, 3rd down and 3rd and long. Just not having.
Well, and a penalty or a mistake that loses yards, it seems like every possession.
Will Hammond still in at quarterback, faking the handoff to Kyron. Heavy pressure coming from the left side. And Hammond just throws that one away.
There's a good awareness there by Will to sense that pressure coming from the backside. That's his blind side, and obviously you can't see back there, but he had that internal clock knowing that, hey, I got to get out of here, and nice little spin move and smart decision there to throw that one away. He had nobody open.
Yeah, he had a Viper that saw a target on his back and was ready to hit it. So 3rd down and 8, 4:57 to go in the first half. Straight drop by Hammond. Now he's going to scramble to his left. He's got a little bit of running room at the 30. Going to try to fight for that first, but it's going to come up short by about a yard.
Boy, he had a lot.
The 35, yeah.
He had a lot of running room, and then
the
Logan
Vipers
Arnold, number 2.
So fast.
My goodness, he got there quick. I mean, he had to have been 5 yards behind Will and ended up tackling him short of the first down.
So it gets it up to the 33, but still going to leave it 4th and 2 for the Hippos. And you wonder, is there any kind of a fake punt possibility here?
Boy, why not?
Yeah, they've had the ball starting at about there every single time. So, yeah, why not give it a shot? Snap back to Evan Gutierrez. He's going to boot it away. Kind of a flutter ball. Kicks out of
Evan
bounds.
slipped. He slipped on the kick, and down there on the field before the game, it's a really soft surface. It's almost sponge-like.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to get a grip, it seems like, and it looked like there, Evan, his plant foot kind of went out from underneath him. You know, when you're taking a golf swing and it's a little bit wet on the ground and
yeah,
you're sliding around. That's kind of what that looked like there.
I use that excuse a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, finally, Vandegrift's going to have to start in their own end of the field at their own 40. That's where the ball went out of bounds. 4:06 to go in the first half. They lead it 32-0. Ryan Back has Shepard come and set up alongside him in the backfield. Handoff goes to Shepard up the middle. Plenty of running room across midfield. 45 down to the Hippo 42-yard line. And, you know, one of the things, the Hippo defense has not really been shredded all year like they seem to kind of be getting right now. And some of that is, you start thinking mentally, it's hard to stay focused and determined
well,
when
yeah,
a game is going like this.
Knowing that there's nothing that you can – knowing there's nothing you can do to score points as a defense, I mean, really, every once in a while the defense will score some points. But the most you can do is stop them and give your offense some good opportunities. And they've done that a few times, and offense hadn't been able to take advantage. And then obviously when they get put in – after a turnover, defense gets put in a bind where they're up against their own goal line right off the bat. That's tough to come back from, no matter who you are.
First down pass went off the hands of Graylin Spring, so 2nd down and 10 for the Vipers at the 42-yard line, and Hippo into the field. 2 men in the backfield with Back this time, Shepard and Lewis. Handoff goes to Lewis, running to the left. Finds a hole across the 35 and down to the 31-yard line. Enough for the Viper first down. Well, they're good at finding the places to run, too.
Yes, they are, and they do a good job of blocking out there on the outside, too, those receivers. Not only do they do a good job catching and making plays after they catch the ball, but they block for their teammates.
Shepard and Lewis. Sounds like a law firm.
It
Back.
might be someday.
Shepard, Back, and Lewis. Back with the pass. Nice job by the Hippo defender, number 4, Jose Pena, to hit number 28, Bowen Lewis, before he can turn it upfield.
Yeah, well played there.
Loss of about 2 yards.
Like we said, we've seen that so many times this year where they run those little flare screens and hope for those one-on-one battles. And our corners have really done a great job all year, minus maybe the first 2 games. A lot of times they were struggling with letting those guys get outside. But other than that, they've turned it on and done a really good job making those open field tackles. 2nd
down and 12 for the Vipers. Again, they put multiple men in motion to reset their offense. Snap back to Back. Heavy pressure and brought down by Landon Watson. Fumble picked up by, look at that, picked up by the Vipers, and they're going to return it and actually end up with a positive gain on the play. Picked up a yard. Number 25, Ryan Anderson, picked up the fumble. Heavy pressure by Landon Watson for the sack, and then Back, the quarterback, dropped the ball, and Ryan Anderson picked it up, and instead of it being about a 10-yard loss, ends up a 1-yard gain. Still 3rd down and long, but wow.
Yep, and that's something that happens if you're a team like Vandegrift. Well, those breaks just kind of go your way.
Well, and that's what happens because you're hustling on every single play.
And aware. Yep, for sure.
So 3rd down and 11. Shepard in the backfield with Back. Now puts a man in motion. That's Lewis going from right to left. Back rolling to his left, looking to throw. He's got a man caught at the 10, running out of bounds at about the 9-yard lines. Number 1, Taylor Dumar. Wow. Back's a good quarterback, too.
Yep, he is. And they tried that little rollout like we like to do with Grayson on third down. Roll him out and run that corner. And Theo Anderson had pretty decent coverage on him, but once again, just a perfect throw and puts it just out of reach and first down. And here we go again. They're in business.
Official timeout. Hippos had a look like a little injury, maybe a cramp or something over in that corner. 1:41 to go in the first half. Hutto trailing 32-0, and Vandegrift threatening again. Yeah, you had him third down, and you go back to the play before. Should have been it was a fumble. Hippos had a chance to make it third and about 20, but a hustle play by Ryan Anderson returned that fumble to set up a 3rd and 11, and there's a big difference in 3rd and 11 and 3rd and 20.
And again, just kind of like our offense shoots themselves in the foot and loses yards. Looked like the same thing happened there with the defense. We've just a unfortunate bounce, unfortunate timing, and good awareness there by Ryan Anderson to pick that one up and gain some yards, and then make it 3rd and manageable. First down. Simple game.
Yep. Some teams make it look more simple than others.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So 1st and goal for Vandegrift. 1 minute, 41 seconds to go in the first half. Hippos, at this point, you just want to kind of get to the locker room.
Or back to Hutto.
Regroup. Yeah, or that. Shepard in the backfield. Back fumbles the snap, picks it up, and brought down before he could get going that time.
Yeah,
Watson,
I thought he was going to pick that well,
so
and
too.
we got a flag coming in
Landon
after the
Watson
play.
and Dietrich Williams in on the tackle.
I think this is going to go against the Vipers, some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct. I think actually on Ryan Back. He might have said something after the words.
Yeah, I saw Dietrich Williams get up and kind of unsportsmanlike against. Yeah. So move them back 15. That's their biggest mistake of the night.
Not their only mistake of the night.
Right. Oh, Bryce said back spiked the ball.
Oh.
So didn't see that. Well, and then you get a timeout by Vandegrift, and I imagine that's where you're up 32-0, 1:29 to go in the first half, and Coach Sanders probably one of those coaches that he never stops coaching and says,
"Well, it's like
we can't do that."
It's like when you see Nick Saban, they'll be up 40-0. That's when he's coaching those kids the hardest, and he's yelling at them more then than when they're not playing well.
Right.
And, like you said, I think with a team like Vandegrift, there's so few times that they're down and that they're really, that they're doing things wrong or that need to be corrected. And so you find every little time to kind of bring them down a notch and remind them that they need to play smart.
Yeah, because there's gonna come a time that you're not just gonna steamroll everybody as you move further down towards probably or potentially a trip to Dallas. I don't know about that. They've got to get through Westlake and.
Yeah, you got to remember we're in. Are they big school or small school?
I think they'll be big.
Yeah,
I think they would be big.
They've got some juggernauts to go through.
Unfortunately, in the first round.
Yep.
But hey, it's a quality team. 2nd down and goal from the 28-yard line. Back throwing left side and led his receiver just a little too much out of bounds.
Yeah, it was good coverage there, Anthony Martinez, and it was. I think it was uncatchable, but he was running with him stride for stride. And one thing that these corners don't do enough of, not necessarily the Hutto corners in general, just watching football, is these corners, they try to turn around and play the ball instead of playing the receiver. A lot of times you're just looking for his hands. You can punch that ball out without even having to turn around and find the ball.
3rd and goal at the 27-yard line, 1:23 to go in the first half. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Handoff goes to Shepard, and before he can get running, moving back another 5. So set up 3rd down and 32. Well, yeah. I'd almost like to see him not get any yards here and see
I was thinking the same thing.
Try a 49-yard field goal.
Yeah, or get a sack here and see if he can. I think he could put it through for
55.
55.
He maybe could. leg looks really good. So 3rd down and goal from the 32-yard line. Lewis goes in motion. Shepard in the backfield with back. And whistle again, and now we have a delay of game.
Wow.
Maybe they're trying to set Fournier up for maybe they know what the school record field goal is, and they're trying to get him in position to kick that.
Man.
So moving back to the 37. 3rd and goal from the 37-yard line.
Just don't get a 15-yard penalty. Give them a first down.
Right, or don't get beat deep over the top. Pass over the middle, almost intercepted, but instead it's complete to Taylor Dumar at the 15-yard line. Boy, jumping in front of that was – who was that?
I think Brody.
It was, or Joseph Teagle maybe. Thought was going to pick it off, but completed down to the 14-yard line. It's going to be 4th and goal at the 14-yard line
well,
with
that's
a minute
boring.
13 to go.
There's no question he's going to make this one.
Yeah, right.
Make it a little interesting.
Yeah, it'd only be a 31-yard field goal from here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it beyond beyond question that they would go for this.
No. Go up 5 scores with a field goal.
I think at this point, unless the Hippos make some dramatic changes at halftime, Vandegrift can kind of call the score, right? I think you just want the Hippos second half. You just want to see heart.
Fight.
Yeah, you want to see heart and fight and hustle.
And that's one thing that we have seen. You know, we've had a few games like this so far this year, and it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of quit. We've seen maybe some bad body language, some guys that are disappointed and drop passes or bad communication, whatever that may be. But there hasn't really been a quit game yet, and that's good to see. Especially from the defense. Offense is sometimes a little bit harder to tell, but defense keeps fighting, or they have, up to this point this year. And that's something that you really like to see.
So Vandegrift come out onto the field, be a 4th and goal situation. Fournier will mark the ball down at the 21. That's where the hold will take place. Should be a 31-yard field goal attempt. Get through there and block it. Snap back, hold down. Just that little punch kick is good. 1:08 to go in the first half. It's now Vandegrift 35, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
.108 to go in the first half. Hippos trail at 35-0 to the Vandegrift Vipers, the team who really is head and shoulders above everybody else in District 25 6A. Hippos played with them really well for the first quarter, but it's just really gotten away from them here.
That seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Gotten away from them here in the second quarter. Fournier probably about to kick another one out of the back of the end zone. And he does. Actually fielded. Wow, why are you bringing that out? To the 5, to the 10. And brought down at the 14-yard line.
That's a decision from a guy that's just eager to get out there and play. That's
you know
LJ
what?
Martin. You know what? Why not?
Hey, yeah, you're down 35-0. It's a minute left in the first half. Maybe you can find a hole and break something. So, yeah, I think given the situation and the time, I don't have a problem with that.
No,
he's got that. He's got speed, and nothing can happen if you just set the ball at the 25-yard line. Something possibly could have happened right there. Empty backfield for the Hippos, 3 receivers right, 2 receivers left. And Grayson Doggett going to take the snap and keep it. It's just a direct run. Called run up to the
I almost wonder if we're just kind of running out
line.
the clock at this point. Being backed up, you don't want to.
Yeah, I would think probably so. 2 receivers left,
I'd
2
look
right.
for a hard count here.
J.J. Banks in the backfield with Doggett, straight drop, looking to throw it. And I think it's out of the hands, intended for L.J. Martin. Couldn't bring it in. Well, now you've got 3rd down and long with 37 seconds left, and the Vipers still have a timeout left. Although I have to think that they would probably be content to let this clock run out also.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, I don't know. Practice 2-minute drill. You know, you can never have enough opportunities to practice that.
Little draw play, hand off to J.J. Banks. No running room whatsoever.
Yeah, we're going to get a timeout.
So Vandegrift will take their last timeout with 31 seconds left, leading 35-0. Hippos are going to have to punt.
So here's a score that's obviously very interesting to the Hippos. Cedar Ridge is up 28-20 at halftime over Westwood.
Wow,
obviously
that's a score fest.
The loser of that game is probably out. Westwood still has one extra game. They get to play Round Rock, so I guess they could potentially lose this game and still have a chance.
Yeah, and we can talk a lot about that in the second half, but it almost seems like the top 3 spots in District 25-6A are pretty set. I mean, number 1 is set for sure. Kind of a battle for 2 and 3 between Round Rock and Vista Ridge.
Right.
And then you've got pretty much 3 teams playing for that last spot, and they all have to play each other. Well, 2 of them are playing each other tonight, and the Hippos play the other 2 the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, a lot can still happen in the next 2 weeks after tonight. So after the timeout with 31 seconds left, the Vista Ridge Vipers are still going to end up with great field position. Reitz Beaucamp stands at midfield. Whoa. That was almost blocked. Nice punt. Fair caught at the 47-yard line. Official signaled it was tipped.
That's the second punt that we've seen tonight that they said is tipped.
That didn't look like the spiral of that ball sure didn't look like it was tipped. So the Hippos, every possession has been a punt or a turnover for them. Vandegrift will start off at the Hippos' 47-yard line. 24 seconds to go, and you wonder, are they going to try to get into a spot where Fournier can try a long field goal? Shepard in the backfield with back. Snap back to back. Back to back. And he throws that one away. Being chased by Landon Watson. Braylon Sugg also in his face.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's give him 10 yards, see what he can do.
17 seconds to go. I don't know. He could. From here, it would be a 64-yard field goal.
Well, you know they get to tee it up. I think the world record was broken by a high school kicker. So
is that right?
I think so, because they get to put it on that platform.
2nd down and 10 at the 47-yard line. Handoff goes to Shepard. He's got a lot of running room. Across the 40 to the 35, runs over a Hippo.
Look to spike it pretty quick, probably.
32-yard line with 10 seconds left. The clock will stop while they move the chains. And back does spike it with 6 seconds left. So the ball is going to be spotted at the 33. Here we go. Be about a 50-yard field goal attempt by Fournier.
Predictions? I think he's going to push it left.
You know what? I think Hippo's going to block it.
That'd be nice.
Clicked another second off. 5 seconds left. So Fournier, ball will be spotted at the 39. So it'll be a 49-yarder. He ought to move back a yard just to make it a 50. Snap back. Hold down. Kick is up. And it is good.
That's good from 60.
That could have been, as a 49-yarder, yeah, that could have been a 60-yard field goal. So on the last play of the first half, Fournier kicks a 49-yard field goal with plenty of room to spare, and the Vandegrift Vipers go in at the locker room just completely dominating this one up on the Hippos 38-0. We will be back and kind of give just a little recap of the first half. And, not a lot to recap from the Hutto side. We'll talk about Touchdown Tommy a little bit more. So we're at halftime. It's Vandegrift 38, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
Is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required. Insured by NCUA.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium in Leander. We're at halftime. Hippos trailing 38-0 to the Vandegrift Vipers. You're watching the Hutto High Steppers out on the field. Hippo band obviously can't travel, but the High Steppers can, so they are performing to recorded music. But good to see the High Steppers making the trip. Well, Ryan, this one started off fun. Obviously, there was a lot of build-up this week about touchdown Tommy Hartman. Number 48, the 4-year student manager for Vandegrift Vipers, who has autism and has just been an integral part of this Vandegrift team. And earlier in the year, Coach Sanders of the Vipers had reached out to Brad and said, Coach LaPlante, and said, "Hey, I have this kid. He's a senior manager for the football team, and he's been with us kind of every step of the way, and we really would love for him to score a touchdown." And Brad, obviously being the man that he is, didn't hesitate for a second and said, "We're 100% in on that."
Obviously, it speaks very highly of Coach LaPlante and his reputation in the coaching community, knowing that even early on the Vandegrift coach would think to would ask him and know that he'd be okay with something like that. Obviously, not every coach would be okay with so much theatrics and so many non-game related things going on before the game. But boy, what a cool moment, and we should have just stopped it after that. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead and call it. And
yeah, it was, and I tell you, it was really neat because we posted something early in the week about it, and it was actually a statement from Coach Sanders, kind of talking about it, and put it on our Hutto Hippo Athletic Facebook page, and it blew up. I mean, there were people everywhere commenting about it and wanting to watch it. So hopefully we had a lot of folks tune in and they were able to see it. And so, yeah, on the very first play of the game, the Vandegrift Vipers were on offense, had the ball at about midfield, and handed off to Tommy Hartman, number 48, and Tommy took it the distance for the touchdown. And that was neat. That was special. Unfortunately, only about 3 plays later, when it really counted, Bowen Lewis did pretty much the same thing.
I mean, it was identical.
Ran pretty much untouched to the end zone for about a 40-yard touchdown run to put them up 7-0. And, from that point, that was 11:07 to go in the first quarter. So we're less than a minute into the first quarter. It was a 7-0 game. But Hippos had to punt on their first possession. Then Vandegrift punted. Then Hippos punted. Then Vandegrift punted. Then the Hippos punted. So you had a little punt game going on there. You had defense being played, and the Hippos kind of going back to that first quarter. Just 2 critical mistakes. They had driven down to inside the Vandegrift 20-yard line at one point, but they got in a place where probably you felt good about them being able to come away with at least 3 points off of the leg of Evan Gutierrez. But instead, they ended up with a crackback block penalty, moving them back 15 yards and to a point where they were never even able to try a field goal. So they came up empty on that possession. Then on Vandegrift's next possession, they drove down and had it at about the 30-yard line, had a 3rd and 5 situation. Hippos had a chance to hold them to a field goal attempt, which, knowing if we had known then what we know now, probably would have been a guaranteed 3 points the way Fournier kicks the ball. But nonetheless, it would have been 3 instead of 7. And instead of holding them on 3rd down, the Hippos jump off sides to give them that free first down. And ultimately, Vandegrift made them pay for that, scored a touchdown to go up 14-0. That was with 11:34 to go in the second quarter. And from that point on, it was just a train
Snowball.
wreck. Yeah, it was a train wreck for
the
Hippos.
Vandegrift scored every single time they had the ball in that second quarter. And, actually held them to 3 field goals.
Yeah.
So there's a
little bit of positive.
We've been looking for positives. There's some positives. They had 6 scores in the third quarter or in the second quarter, which is kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, and the Hippos offensively had a couple interceptions, more punts, and just never really could. After having a little bit of offensive success in that first quarter, Hippos just never really could get anything going in the second quarter. And that's where we stand right now at halftime, with Vandegrift leading it 38-0 at halftime. We are going to turn off our mics, and we'll just leave the camera focused on the Vandegrift band. It is a big band. I don't think they've split theirs into half like the Hippos have at our home games. We're going to let you watch the Vandegrift band, and we're going to do a little bit of technical work, see if we can get our crowd mic working. We'll be back a little bit before the start of the second half. It's at halftime. Hutto's trailing 38-0 over the Vipers.
Rainbow's good neighbor program breeds cleaners in Center Ranch, and UPS 4 points for their support of the band program. We are excited to finish off tonight's performance with a few of our club favorites. But hold on and show your Texas pride as the band performs deep in the heart of Texas. This next song goes out to the one and only Vandegrift Assistant Principal Extraordinaire, Mike Keith. Here it is. Say it. And now it's on for our student section. Here is the Vandegrift. Get on your feet, Viper Nation, as the band performs the fight song. Let's hear it for the Vandegrift Viper Marching Band and Vision Dance Company. The Viper Band is directed by Mike Howard, Katie Van Dorn, Joe Hans, and Dustin Felt. The Vision Dance Company is directed by Katie Hopkins and Holly Wiles. Additional band staff include Mark Hunter, Lauren Casey Todd, Evelyn Weber, Adam Kodak, Joseph Wynn, Jordan Webb, JP Gagaza, and Preston Wick. Thank you for joining us for our halftime performance.
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium in Leander, where the Hippos come out of the locker room off of a pretty bad first half, trailing 38-0 to the Vandegrift Vipers, and Hippos will get the ball to start the second half. But Ryan, I think, I think it's not realistic to think that the Hippos would come back and win this game. But what you want to do is, and we talked about it a little bit, is you got to come back and show some heart and some want to, and really get yourself ready for the next 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks after today really will determine, and you have to do those 1 week at a time, because next week will determine if you have a chance the following week to play for the playoffs.
Realistically, playoffs start next week, right?
Absolutely.
It's
elimination.
We're
next
kind of
week.
at that time period in a normal season where playoffs would be starting. First round might actually have been either this week or next week.
Well, this week, because they are all the 1A through 4A schools are first round of playoffs.
We're right where we picked up, starting playoffs in mid-November. So,
yep.
Obviously, it's just now it's an 8-round playoff.
That's right. Fournier kicks off and puts it about where he's put it all night long. That one
was going through the
almost got across through the goalpost. But we were talking at halftime whether their kicker, Charlie Fournier, has any offers. And like Ryan, like you said, colleges don't generally offer kickers, at least early on. But I think it's pretty obvious this kid, if he wants to play college football as a kicker, he's going to be able to play college football
somewhere,
as a kicker.
The way that works, I mean, unless you are just unbelievable. And I mean, it's going to be hard to find a high school kicker better than him, but a lot of times those guys get those preferred walk-on spots.
Absolutely. Grayson Doggett has the Hippos, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, swinging a pass to Kyron Miller, and exactly like what happened in the first half, first pass of the game is to a back out of the backfield, and it hits him in the hands and falls to the ground, incomplete. So,
well,
I think next week they just need to have 2 days of just nothing but throwing and catching.
Well, and that's what we say, and it has been the receivers all year, but the last few games it's also turned into the running backs.
It's like a focus. These guys are good athletes. They can catch the football. They're just not doing it. Gary Choice catches a ball at the 29-yard line, pick up 4 yards. Hippos will have it 3rd down and need 6. They're going to give him the 30, so 3rd down and 5 needed. Yeah, it's a concentration thing. It's a focus thing. It's a mental thing, and clearly they have the physical skills to catch the football.
Yeah, they have hands.
Yeah,
that's the only physical.
That would
trait
be that would be a tremendous disadvantage if you were a receiver
eyeballs.
without hands. 3rd down, 5 yards needed. Grayson straight drop, throwing left sideline. He's got a man, Gary Choice. It's caught at the 40 and wrestled down inside the 35-yard line, and Vandegrift into the field.
Yeah,
so
well-placed ball there by Grayson.
Great
Gary
pass
got behind
by Grayson, and there you go.
That's
good things can happen when you catch the football.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line, 34-yard line, and Vandegrift into the field. Snap back, hand off to Kyron Miller. He's going to be brought down before he can ever even get going. Boy, number 44 for the Vipers, Tucker Harrison, just was back there meeting Kyron Miller at the point of the handoff.
Yeah, and again, you get that big play, and then immediately rush up to that line, and a negative yardage play automatically puts you behind the chains. And
seems to happen a lot when we go fast.
Hard to get any sort of momentum going.
2nd down and 13. 2 receivers left. Grayson looking left, throwing. He's got a man and caught Jay Lambert inside the 10-yard line. So the Hippos have found some success 2 times going down that left sideline, and Jay Lambert hauls that one in.
Yeah, good find there, too, by Grayson. He put it right in that hole. We talked about that cover 2 hole where that corner sinks down low and the safety's got to come over the top, and you've got to find that window and get it in there quick, and Grayson just did that.
1st and goal at the 7. Miller in the backfield. Pressure look by the Vipers. Gary Choice goes in motion from left to right. Snap back to Grayson. Rolling to his right. Pressure coming from the backside. Throws over the middle. Intended for Carson Forrest, I believe. And couldn't quite haul that one in. Good coverage by the Vipers. Somebody draped all over Carson.
Yeah, it was good coverage. It was actually a pretty well-run route there by Carson Forrest. He got to that end zone and turned around and kind of used that basketball block-out move and It was just a good job by the defender to reach around him and knock that ball away.
Defender was number 22. Say his last name.
Mastro di Casa.
Michael Mastro di Casa. There you go.
That's a pretty sweet name if you can say it.
Second down and goal. Brody Bueno going to keep it at the 5. Powering forward, touchdown Hippos. So Brody Bueno, and like we said at the coaches show, Brody was on their show for us. Hippos showing some enthusiasm after that score too. Brody takes a snap, and we know there's about an 88% chance that Brody's going to keep it, and
what did he tell us
for
on
the touchdown.
what did he tell us on Monday? What was his percentage? He said 80.
Yeah,
that felt like a lie.
Yeah, higher than that. Well, and shout out to Brody's parents, Angela and Dean, who happen to not be here, which is incredibly rare. They're on an anniversary trip in Breckenridge, Colorado, but they are watching. They're tuned in. Snap back, hold down. Evan Gutierrez pulls that kick to the left. It might have been I'm not sure if that snap just didn't get down solidly or not, but Evan pulls it. But 10:01 to go in the third quarter. Hippos get on the board. It's Vandegrift 38, Hutto 6. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA, strength from within.
Welcome back to Monroe Stadium in Leander, where the Hippos get on the board for the first time tonight. A nice drive, couple of good passes by Grayson down that left sideline, capped off by Brody Bueno, keeping it for an 8-yard touchdown run. Yeah, Bryce texted up and said, no, it's 1,000% chance that Brody's going to keep it. He's probably right.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think back. Has there been an instance where he has given the ball up this year? I don't think so.
I don't think so. High pooch kick fielded at the 30. A little bit of running room across the 35. Still running across the 45. And boy, when you get that pooch kick in that hang time, you got to bring that guy down before he can return it. But instead, number 28, Bowen Lewis, gets it up near the midfield for Vandegrift. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Well, it was nice to see a little bit of enthusiasm by the Hippo offense after they scored too. It wasn't just ho-hum. There was a little bit of celebrating going on, and
I'm sure they heard it from the coaches in there at halftime. Like, guys, we've got something to play for each other, play for some momentum, and you never know what could happen.
Handoff goes to Ryan Lewis. Good job by the Hippo defense to wrap him up for a loss. Back to the 46-yard line, loss of 1, 3rd down and 11, 9:40 to go in the third quarter. Hippos trailing 38-6. Yeah, I mean, win this quarter, win the fourth quarter, and come away feeling like you have some positive things moving forward. We'll get a little more into it when we have some time here later in the half, but we'll start talking about playoff possibilities if the Hippos are to get there. And there's a chance you could get a good, favorable matchup in the first round of the playoffs if you can get to the playoffs. Snap back to back, handoff to Shepard. Or no, that was Lewis, crosses the 46 back up to the 47-yard line. Going to be 3rd down and 10 yards needed back to that original line of scrimmage.
It's just amazing what some confidence in your offense can do for a defense.
Right.
Those two things kind of seem like they're not related, but boy, it just – every time that offense gets a spark, it really just is amazing how the defense comes alive.
Sure. Absolutely. So 3rd and 10 for the Vipers. Boy, looked up thinking the play clock should be down to about 10 and still 15 seconds left. Man in motion from left to right. Back going to roll to his right. Heavy pressure by Landon Watson. He evades that and throws it into the ground. Brody Bueno made a dive at it. Incomplete. So, I don't know how back got away from Landon Watson. But
I don't know if we've
seen
someone escape a Landon Watson sack yet this year. That's kudos to him. Fortunate for him. You don't really want to get brought down by him. And,
no. So a
perfect
3 and
start
out
there for the Hippos.
Yeah,
I mean, go
absolutely.
score, stop them, and all of a
If
sudden
only
you've
the
got
Hippos could do this, get these fast starts in the first half.
Yeah,
instead
you don't
of in
want to
the
have them
second
when you're
half.
down 38-6.
Exactly. But that is positive. Heavy pressure. Gets the punt away. Fielded at the 15-yard line across the 20 and brought down at about the 22-yard line. Was that Gary Choice?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job
Fielded
there by
that
Gary to go
line
catch
drive.
that ball. And he didn't even fair catch it. That's probably the first one that we've seen him try to return in a few games and gain maybe an extra 6-7 yards out of that one with some Vipers in his face. That was a gutsy catch.
It's already basketball season. Hard to believe that since we're only in game 7 of football. But, of course, football started late. But Coach Gant Caraway just texted me and said the Hippo boys basketball beat Southside San Antonio by a tight score of 95-32 tonight. Good start for a
solid.
Yeah, very solid. Grayson leads L.J. Martin a little too much on that pass. Goes incomplete, second down and 10. Well, of course, the Hippo boys basketball team coming off a huge season last year, a team that really was a threat to make it all the way to the state tournament. Got upset in that third round, but Coach Caraway will be on the Coaches Show Monday night along with girls coach Jennifer Hoffman. We'll talk basketball along with football. Grayson hits L.J. Martin at the 25, a little bit of run room to the 30, 35, pushing forward, and brought down at the 37-yard line. So had L.J. on a little crossing pattern and picks up about 12 yards on the play.
Yeah, we had mentioned pregame and during the first drive that they were going to try to get L.J. a lot more involved, and he was early on, and then he kind of went quiet. I guess the whole Hippo offense kind of went quiet, but kind of looks like they're starting to get him back in the mix, and he really is a dangerous guy when you can get that ball in his hands.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Grayson looking left, throws it low. Gary Choice slides down and picks it up at the 41-yard line. Pick up of about 4 yards on the play. Well, seeing a little more what seems like effort from the Hippos right now.
Effort and concentration.
Yeah. Bryce can text me here in a minute and tell us how it is on the sideline. He said it wasn't good in the first half, but seems to be at least somebody tried to light a little bit of a fire. Handoff, no, faking the handoff, swinging a pass. Good job by Gary to stay on his feet. Picks up a couple of yards. I tell you, he went down to get that pass, and he did a good job to keep that knee off the ground from being down, and was able to crawl forward for about 3 yards.
Yeah, that would have been unfortunate to catch the ball, and with the knee down, we would have actually lost yardage on that one.
So 3rd down, 4 yards needed for the Hippos. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. They trail at 38-6. Need the 47-yard line. Blitz look. Pressure. Grayson throwing over the middle. Oh, a diving interception. Nice play by number 6, Ty Jordan. Grayson had a man right in the middle.
Yeah,
but
he had Gary, but it was
there,
pretty tight coverage, and that was a pretty small window to try to fit that one in.
Ty Jordan just did a nice.
Picked it right out of the air.
Yeah, just dove and stops what was a nice little short drive by the Hippos.
Yeah, and I wonder there too if we don't come up with that 3rd down, you wonder if we're going to go ahead and go for that on 4th.
Yeah, I think so.
And so you don't end up getting it on 4th down, and you're kind of in a similar position. So, not the most harmful of interceptions.
1st and 10 for the Vipers at the 48-yard line. Well, let's see if the Hippo defense will respond to that, and they do on the first play. Handoff goes to number 4, Ryan Shepard, and he's met by about 3 Hippos in the backfield. Let's see, Landon, Braylon Sugg, and also had looked like
I think it was Braylon Davis.
Charles Green back there.
Yeah, and I think the Vipers are going to be content to just keep this ball on the ground, keep the clock moving, and it looks like the Hippos kind of know that, and they're kind of keying in on that run, which it's just be careful because it takes one play action, get you guys sucked up, and dump it right over the top for an easy touchdown.
Yeah, they are definitely using a lot of clock on every play, which is good coaching to play clock down to 1 second, get the snap off, dropping back, now pressure, and can't quite grab him. He slips away again at the 45, slides down. boy, the Hippos just couldn't quite get him. You had Charles Green back there along with
Jalen Parkinson.
Yep. And
yeah, got some good pressure, and it was good coverage. They tried that play action, little fake up the middle, and they were looking deep, and Theo Anderson did a good job of sticking with his man, and along with Joseph Teagle at that safety position, just staying on top of everything and not letting anything behind you.
Still set up a 3rd down and long, 13 yards needed. Back, straight drop. Has a man at the 46, pushing forward to the 45. Going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Well-placed ball. He had Braylon Sugg kind of running out from that outside linebacker position. Thought he might get there, but just dumped it right over the top of him. And 4th and 2, looks like they're actually bringing on their punt team. Yeah.
Well,
trying to get some work, I guess.
It would be a 62-yard field goal, and Fournier could, from what we saw, Fournier could make a 62-yard field goal.
He's got to be over there in his coach's ear trying to
petitioning for a chance.
Man, I think we'd all like to see that.
Punter's number 18, Ben Scott. Hippos don't have anybody back again, respecting the possibility of a fake. Gets that punt away. Yeah, kick into that end zone, and it does. So it'll be a touchback. Hippos will take over at their own 20-yard line. 4:23 to go. Well, that's 2 straight possessions and 2 straight punts, so they got that going for them. That never happened in the first half. Well, I guess it did happen in the first quarter.
It did.
Yeah. Second quarter was just the one that you want to
we just need to play.
Take it out back, dig a hole, and bury it.
Yep. That's not out of the question.
You saw that at Tech one time, didn't you?
They literally
took a ball from that TCU game and literally dug a hole and buried it, right?
When you give up 82 points.
You didn't have to say that. And before the play can get underway, Will Hammond back in at quarterback and going to have a timeout, I think. I think Vandegrift recognized that Hammond was in at quarterback and maybe called a timeout. Yeah, that I remember that game. Tech got destroyed, and you were equipment manager for the football team, and you said y'all came back, was it on Sunday, that Sunday?
Yep, had a team meeting and buried a game ball.
Went out to a practice field and literally dug a hole and buried the game ball. You think it's still there?
No.
You don't think so?
No, that's all turf now. They dug it all up. That was pre all the construction.
Oh, that was when the practice field was still grass.
Yeah.
I think I remember telling you should sneak over there in the middle of the night and dig it up and keep it just being something to talk about later in your life.
I don't think anybody wants to talk about that.
Well, it just would have made a great story.
Hindsight, that was a much more successful season than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
The Red Raiders.
It was.
4 wins.
Just one bet. Yeah. Oh. All right, we're not talking Red Raiders tonight. 1st and 10 for the Hippos at the 20-yard line. Kyron Miller in the backfield with Will Hammond. Hammond rolling to his right.
Watch
now
out.
He's being chased and going to reverse field back to his left. Boy, it's still being chased.
Oh, my goodness, just the closing
15,
speed by Ricky Sweeney.
Wow, I mean, and Sweeney does not look like he should be out running Will Hammond, and he chased him down before Will could turn the corner and runs him out of bounds for about a 4-yard loss.
He's kind of their playmaker on that front 4. He's got 40 tackles and 4 sacks on the year, and I guess call that 5. Well, I guess you call that a sack, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, he was moving, and that's a scary sight.
No kidding. Well, it's kind of like Landon Watson chasing guys on the other team. And off it goes to Kyron and trying to break some tackles. He does across the 25, 30-yard line. And tell you, Kyron doesn't usually have a lot of success kicking it outside, but that time he did, and he was able to pick up the Hippo first down up to the 32-yard line.
Well, when he does have success, it's when he bounces out and guys try to go low, and he's able to just shove them down with that little low stiff arm. And he got 3 of them right there and picked up a nice first down. The unfortunate thing is when he has the success doing that is it kind of justifies him wanting to do that and not pound it up the middle.
1st and 10. L.J. Martin looked like they were trying to set up a little reverse, and they didn't connect on the handoff. L.J. Martin decides to keep it and manages to turn it into about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, interesting. I think L.J. thought maybe it was a fake reverse or he wasn't comfortable with pitching that. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like we had Gary Choice, though, running from that top side coming back around, and like you said, a good job there by LJ to turn that into positive yards, actually, and cut it back and gain 7.
Second down, 4 yards needed. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Will, heavy pressure, and just going to dump that one. There was no receiver in sight, and I'm not sure he got it back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's the first time that we've seen Will just kind of almost make that freshman mistake, you know, of just backing up and not stepping up in the pocket. So many times guys that are new or uncomfortable, they get that pressure and they immediately want to bail backwards. And, you know, so often the safe place is to cut it forward or cut it, you know, forward and reach around the outside where when guys are too far upfield.
Dejon Higgins in the backfield with Will Hammond. Straight drop. Now being pressured. Rolling to his right. Still being pressured. Lets it fly. Boy, almost right into the hands of a Viper, number 9, Jackson Oliver, who already has 1 interception on the night.
Yeah, he had Carson Forrest running deep and saw that he rolled out and actually started coming back to the ball. I don't think that Will was looking that direction because he had Carson open actually for the first down, but by the time he looked his direction, it was too late. And like you said, fortunate that actually that ball was not picked off. I think he was trying to throw it away.
Hippo offense, they keep showing just little flashes of positivity, but it just can't sustain it against this Vandegrift defense. Low snap picked up by Evan Gutierrez. A lot of hang time on that punt. Fair caught at the 34-yard line by Reese Beaucamp for the Vipers. 2:14 to go in the third quarter. Hippos trailing 38-6. Well, if you're listening in, or if you're still tuned in to us, if you have my number or some way to connect with me, let me know, and we'll give you a shout-out. I already said Angela and Dean Bueno in Breckenridge, Colorado. She said that they skied a little bit today, so there's already snow on the mountains up there. That's where I learned to ski. Is that where you learned to ski, Breckenridge?
No.
You learned at Red River?
Yep.
Landry, I guess,
Durango,
learned at Breckenridge. So I would rather be skiing right now, maybe.
That sounds pretty nice.
Lewis takes it forward to the 44-yard line. Going to have just enough for the Viper first down. So, yeah, they at least got to watch Brody score a touchdown on on our live stream broadcast from Colorado. She asked if they were the furthest listener away. Gates said we had somebody listen from Indiana.
Yeah, it's been so interesting to see some of the people that have been commenting and watching our broadcast the last few weeks. Just you kind of wonder how they stumble across Hippo football.
You know, we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, handoff goes to Shepard. He moves it forward to the 45-yard line. Pick up 1. Mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we had some listeners from Michigan who, in fact, we had Coach LaPlante had given him a shout out for his 30th birthday. I believe his name was Ryan. I can't remember what his last name was. The Ryan part was easy to remember. But yeah, from Michigan, people. I actually had somebody this week that sent me a message. They live in South Carolina, so they have friends with the last name Hutto, and they discovered Hutto, and they love hippos. So mailed them a couple of our little squishy hippos, and hippos are developing a following all over the world. Pass intended down that left side for looks like number 80.
Well, it's
Graylin Spring, balled incomplete.
Obviously, it's a unique mascot. We're still the only ones in the country that have that as a mascot, right? As far as
we
you're
are.
aware? Yeah.
We are. Hopefully, we forever will be. And I tell you, we've gotten some early looks at the some renditions of what our stadium updates will look like next year, and it will be very unique also. Absolutely. And it is quite exciting. They're down to 9 for the Vipers. Heavy pressure. Trying to set up a screen pass. Breaking away to the 40-yard line, back inside to the 35. Thought the Hippos had that red.
Yeah, Jalen Parkinson was there, and he was just
Ryan Shepard did a good job of making him
dropped it over the top of the defender, and not the best angle that Jalen could have taken, but, it's like we said, that's a guy that's he's not new to varsity. I mean, he's been on the team the whole year. He's just he hasn't been as big of a contributor maybe as he has the last few weeks, and that's something. Those angles and the speed, it takes some getting used to, and there's nothing you can do about a perfect pass.
Nope. First down at the 33-yard line. Back, hands off. A little bit of running across the 30 down to the 25, 24-yard line as Shepard. Shepard came in 492 yards on the season. He's probably
over
close
600.
to 600 at this point, if not more. Shout out to Chris Elquist. He's always tuned in, and he's giving me some pictures. They watch on the big screen in their I think they have a big screen in their garage. But yeah, he's a loyal listener. Of course, his wife, Denise, one of our great nurses at Hutto High School. We've reached the end of 3 quarters here at Monroe Stadium. It's the Vipers 38, Hippos 6. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on SHN Sports.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required. Insured by NCUA.
Getting set to start the 4th quarter here at Monroe Stadium, and what has been that was a fast 3rd quarter and what's been a long night for the Hippos, trailing 38-6. Vandegrift has it 2nd down and about 3 yards needed. Plenty of running room across the 20, inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line is Bowen Lewis. So Vipers still with their starters in the ball game, which nothing wrong with that.
No, they've
got to give my weekly shout out
to
to my mother, your grandmother, listening from Wichita Falls. She is she's definitely a Ryan fan. I mean, she's a Todd fan too, but she likes listening to her grandson, I think, do color commentating. Chris Elquist asked, when do we get to see what the stadium will look like? Chris, if you will tune into the board meeting this coming Thursday, I believe we might have an initial presentation by our architects at the board meeting. I think that is on the agenda. Can't guarantee it, but I think it is. But yeah, I'll tell you, it's going to be it's going to be neat, and it's not anything that's gaudy. Hippos are we're going to be very responsible with bond dollars and doing the things we're going to do, but it's going to be a nice upgrade, nice touches that will certainly differentiate Hutto and our Hutto Memorial Stadium from a lot of other stadiums. It's definitely not going to be just a cookie cutter, just like a lot of other stadiums are. So I'm excited about it, and not just the press box either. Obviously we can't wait to have a functional press box, but what I'm excited about is just this will become a almost kind of an iconic symbol for Hutto. As a lot of towns, their high school football stadium in places like Hutto, a football stadium is very symbolic, and there will be a lot of things in that stadium and the design of that stadium that will be very symbolic of some things in our community. We'll pause in the action here while
got another shout out. Actually, a former Hippo guy that I played football with, Matthew Leathers, is listening up in Minnesota. I
remember Matthew.
Yep,
yeah.
Matthew is now a college football coach at Crown College up there in Minnesota. They've actually been doing some recruiting of some of our guys recently. Trying to get that Hutto pipeline going. So shout out to Matthew up there in Minnesota, and I think he's now married as well.
I remember him.
Yep. Got them all over.
Yes, we do. They represent Hippo Nation well. Just about set. Get back underway. 1st and 10 for the Vipers at the Hippo 24-yard line. 11:53 to go in the ball game. guess I better be sure and give a shout-out to my wife, too, right?
It's true.
Katie is a faithful. Handoff goes to number 1, Taylor Dumar, who rambles inside the 15. Going to mark him down at the 13-yard line. Yeah, obviously she's always at the games, but this year, due to all the restrictions on how many people can go, she said, I'll just watch y'all because I don't want to take somebody else's ticket. So,
well,
but I'm sure she is still tuned in and watching, as are a number of folks.
It's because we bring such good product
That's
over
right.
there.
2nd down and 4 for the Vipers. Handoff goes to Shepard. Good job by the Hippo defensive front to swallow it up. Zane Bolding. First time I think I've said Zane's name tonight, but
yeah,
was in there on the stop.
He's been in there on quite a few of the plays. Just I think we're trying to call some of these other guys, and everybody can just assume that Zane Bolding's in on the tackle.
Yeah, all the time. And Katie did affirm that she is that she's still watching. So is Mark Aspenleiter, our longtime PA man for Hutto Memorial Stadium. I tell you, Mark's going to be excited for his new digs next year too. Handoff goes to Lewis, gets to the 10-yard line. I think he needed the 9, so going to be a 4th down and a yard needed. And
27 staying on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think they're going to.
He's got nothing to prove with a
exactly
28-yard field goal.
Here we go with that interesting formation.
Well, and watch the hard
straight
count.
line,
don't jump
and then
offside.
everybody.
Obviously, they already got a free first down earlier.
Yeah, might be a quarterback sneak. That's what they did, I think, last time on this. Back is under center, and there's a jump.
I think we're going to get a jump on the offense. And
yeah, number 76, Holton Garrison, and then Landon Watson gives him a little shove after he jumped. Surely they're not going to call a personal foul on Landon Watson.
This. I mean,
no.
he moved.
Yeah, he moved, and Landon moved and did what he's supposed to do.
I think they're talking about it.
Yeah, that's
they better wave this one
going to
off.
be pretty ridiculous if they throw a flag against the Hippos on this one.
Good. Oh.
They are going to call unsportsmanlike. That's ridiculous.
That is.
Yeah, I'm sure Brad. Yeah, Brad is hot. Not just Brad. Adam Harvey's hot. Coach Grimm's over on the side. Yeah, I think rightly so.
Well, what are you
that's
supposed
what you,
to do?
That's
in
what you teach a defensive
like
guy
I mean,
to do. If the offensive man jumps, then you're supposed to.
You know, a lot of times these guys are not. It's easier just to watch the man in front of you. You don't even watch the football. Watch him and see if he jumps. He jumps, and Landon's job is to blow him up. That's horrible.
1st and goal for the Vipers. Yeah, that's a terrible call. Handoff goes to Shepard. He's wrestled down at the 7-yard line, and Braylon Sugg did one of those Braylon Sugg.
He's due for about one a game, isn't he?
Yeah, he was pretty aggressive on that one. I think he was pretty mad about that call too. I mean, you know, it's one thing to flag guys for true unsportsmanlike whatever, but that's just football.
Yeah.
And there was absolutely no reason to throw that flag.
Don't false start.
That's right. 2nd down and goal at the 7-yard line. Backworks under center this time. There they go with another shift. Faking the handoff, looking to throw. He's got a man at the 4-yard line. Ball's fumbled, picked up by the Hippos, and returned to the 12-yard line. There's Zane Bolding picking up the fumble. Yeah, nice hit. I couldn't see who got the hit. Brody Bueno was down in amongst the action, of course, as Brody and Zane always are.
Couldn't tell who ultimately forced that. There were a lot of Hippos over there, and they
swung a little pass to Skoglin.
Yeah, and they did a good job of stopping him short. It looked like he had a full head of steam coming, trying to turn that corner and get in the goal line, and then met about 3 Hippos there, and the ball just pops loose and bounces right into Zane Bolding's hands.
So a defensive stand by the Hippos with 8:37 to go in the ball game, trailing 38-6. They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Grayson Doggett back out at quarterback. He's got a couple of receivers to the right side, single receiver left. Handoff.
Higgins.
Going nowhere was Higgins.
No, he gained 5.
Did he?
He sure did.
He sure did. I thought he was stopped for no
It
gain.
sure did.
Dejon Higgins.
It looked like he was just kind of
I guess.
bouncing across.
Yeah, I thought it was just kind of going
Yeah.
around along the line, but maybe there's just a little bit of an angle.
Well, and we got a pretty good push up front. Deceiving.
So pick up by 5 yards by Dejon Higgins. 2nd and 5. There's that reverse. Trying to set up a
pass
pass.
it. He's got
Jay Lambert.
Carson
He's
Forrest.
got a man with 35. Carson Forrest at the 40, 45. Still fighting forward. Brought down at the 48-yard line. So Hippos run a little reverse pass. Jay Lambert had all day to throw the ball.
Yeah, he did, and Carson was wide open too. Good job there to catch it, and a nice, fun little play there.
1st and 10. Hand off to Higgins. Wrapped up from behind. That time, he gained nothing. In fact, lost a yard. Good penetration by the Viper defense. 7:35 to go in the ball game. Hippos trailing 38-6. You'd like to get another score because I think how many people have put double digits on the Viper defense this year? Only like 1? Was Cedar Park the only one?
Cedar Park, Vista Ridge put up 14.
Okay.
And Westwood lost 38-7, and we're currently losing 38-6. So
Well,
Cedar
gotta be
Ridge
better than
lost
that.
35-6.
hand off to Dejon Higgins again, and good penetration by the Viper defense. No gain. Going to be 3rd down and 11 yards needed. Ball at the 49-yard line.
And I don't think I don't think it's going to come down to it, but in a tiebreaker scenario,
Points
potentially, I mean,
differential.
yeah. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for a tiebreaker. I think it's basically we got to win the next 2.
Right. I think so. 3rd down, 11 yards needed. 2 receivers split right, 2 left. Doggett has Kyron Miller in the backfield. Snap back. Quick pass. That is, almost caught. Boy, I tell you, Grayson threw a great pass right there. I mean, it was well defended, but L.J. Martin, he had it in his hands, but there was no way for him to really close his hands because the defender had hold of his left arm. So he just wasn't able to secure that ball. But
yeah,
that's a
perfect
great
pass.
Man,
There's nowhere else that he could have put that.
Yeah, quick pass too. Got rid of it very
Yeah,
fast.
I think the only situation where a tiebreaker would come into play is if Cedar Ridge slips up and loses to Stony Point, which obviously we don't foresee happening, or if Westwood ends up losing to McNeil next week, which is
Probably not going to happen either.
Ideal.
What was the? Did you get a final score on that Cedar Ridge
know that it
Westwood
went final.
game? It was
last. It was.
It had turned into a blowout. I
Yeah,
think.
it was 56-20 Cedar Ridge. So, looking like obviously they'll be the team to beat next week, which we're gonna have to win that one anyway. It was interesting though, if those scores are correct. I mean, obviously sometimes those scores are incorrect. People go and enter those in on their own, but it was 28-20 at halftime, and Cedar Ridge outscored them by 28 points in the second half.
Yeah, you're right. Every once in a while, somebody will kind of go jack with those scores. Check it here in just a second, see if it's. Vandegrift takes over 1st and 10 at the 19 after the punt by the Hippos. A lot of running room across the 25 up near the 31-yard line. And, 56-20 looks like, well, that says with 2:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. Can that possibly be right? You said it was 28-20? That means they've scored 28 straight points? Well, I guess it could be.
Vandegrift scored 6 times in the 2nd quarter, so.
Good point. Cedar Ridge isn't them, but yeah, it could have been turnovers. And and in a thriller, Stony Point
6-0 at halftime.
Yeah, they lead McNeil 13-6, so with 2:40 to go in the 4th quarter.
Getting tight.
Well, the game's probably more exciting than a couple of the other ones. Handoff goes to Shepard, and good job by the Hippos to wrap him up for no gain. Going to be 2nd down, 10 yards to go, 5:20 to go. Well,
I'm
here's
looking at a tweet right now, and it was 49-20 18 minutes ago. So
yeah, no, that's right. Interesting thing. So when you start looking at playoffs, and of course, after this game, Hippos, we've mentioned they play Cedar Ridge next Friday night, and then they play Westwood on the Friday after Thanksgiving at 2:00 in the afternoon game. There's heavy penetration by the Hippo defense to bring down the ball carrier for a loss. Ball carrier was number 43, Jackson Bogardus. Anyway. So you have to beat Cedar Ridge. That's a must.
Right.
I mean, after tonight, you have to win. Like you said, it's elimination at this point. The playoffs start next week. You have to beat Cedar Ridge. If you beat Cedar Ridge, and then you go to Westwood on that Black Friday, the day following Thanksgiving, if you can win that, then you're going to be the fourth-place team in the district. Interesting thing about District 25, 6A, matches up against 26-6A in the first round of the playoffs. 26-6A happens to be Westlake, Lake Travis. Need I say more?
Yeah, you can stop there.
Now, here's the deal. 6A splits into Division I and Division II after the four teams are decided.
It's the old way of doing
exactly,
things,
like 5A used to do. It's the Vipers will come on and punt with 3:40 to go. So they split them into two. Right now, if things played out the way it looks, then if Hutto's able to get into the playoff as the fourth team, because of size, Hutto is definitely heavy pressure on the punter.
The smallest 6A school in the state.
Yeah, once again, a great punt with heavy pressure in their face. This team is like full of kickers.
They don't skip leg day.
No, they don't. So the good news is Hutto is the smallest school. Well, right now it looks like the two small schools from 26-6A would be Hayes and Austin High School. The two big schools would be Westlake and Lake Travis. The last thing that you want to do is play Westlake or Lake Travis, right? You might be able to avoid those. And not only that, that's a team, but either Austin or Hayes are both schools that are beatable by the Hippos in the first round. Yeah. So, there's some things to definitely still play for. I mean, obviously you're playing for a playoff spot. There's a bobble on the exchange trying to get L.J. Martin on a little end around and couldn't make a clean exchange, so that fumble moved him all the way back to the 19-yard line with 3:10 to go in the ballgame. So, yeah, you can potentially you're set up for a really good first-round matchup if you can get into the playoffs.
Right.
But you have to win the next two games after this to get into the playoffs. And then you have to hope that there's not something crazy that happens, that will push Westlake or Lake Travis into that Division II, because if you do, then you're going to have to play one of those.
Well, who would be the
fifth? There was a penalty on the Hippos
after
that.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And now they're faced with a first down and second down, and they need to get to Georgetown for the first.
Who would be the fifth place team in that district?
Hayes, Austin, Del Valley,
who would obviously go big school.
They would be big school for sure.
And then we would play Westlake if we got that fourth spot, right?
Yeah. So let's.
So we're big Austin High Hayes fans the next couple weeks.
Yes, we are indeed. Second down and a whole lot needed. Grayson going to scramble. He's got a lot of running room at the 15 to 20, and then brought down from behind at the 20-yard line. That was a combination, I think, of Grayson sliding and being grabbed from behind at about the same time.
He showed some wheels there. Grayson moving. Or maybe it was deceiving because he was running right at us. I'm not sure. He did get caught from behind.
Third down and still need about 20 yards. 2:20 to go in the ball game. Hippos trailing 38-6. A lot of pressure coming and going to have a hold. Flags are flying from
3 flags
everywhere. For any official that hadn't had a chance to throw a flag tonight, there was their chance to go ahead and get theirs
They've got
out
a
of
quota.
their belt.
They've got a quota to hit, too.
Yep. And I'm sure chop block, I would think Vandegrift will probably decline this one. 2:10 to go in the ball game. Hippos trailing 38-6. Well, and I would say get out next Friday night and watch the Hippos play Cedar Ridge for a lot of reasons, but one, it'll be the last game ever at for the Hippos at what is now Hutto Memorial Stadium, or what Hutto Memorial Stadium looks like now.
Yep.
So could be something nostalgic about that. Oh, high snap.
Win or lose,
by
that'll be
Gutierrez.
happy.
Well, for sure. Good roll on the punt by Gutierrez. Going to be killed at the 41-yard line. Vandegrift will take over there with 1:45 to go in the ball game. So Vandegrift will move to 6-1 overall on the year, and obviously stay undefeated 5-0 in district play and continue to stretch their undefeated district streak to 21 straight games. Hey, I want to say something really quick. Brad got an email this week, and this was really neat. And this is a little bit of a kind of going back to, there were a lot of folks interested in this game for a lot of reasons. But the first thing was the Tommy Hartman run at the beginning of the game. But I'm just going to read this. He received it from Rodney Carr. He says, actually, this was to Coach Sanders and to Coach LaPlante. Coach Sanders and Vandegrift. Says, Coach Sanders, you'll remember me as Stacy Cooley's husband and stepdad to the Cooley boys. Stacy shared with me just now how you were going to honor Tommy Hartman, and I love you for that. Coach LaPlante, my second set of stepsons were lucky enough to be raised to be men by Coach Sanders. They are both now college grads. Here is why Hutto High School is in my heart. First Lieutenant Kyle G. West was my oldest stepson and was killed. Of course, our Kyle G. West Fieldhouse named after him, and was killed. His entire squad were all killed by an al-Qaeda bomb in Iraq in 2007, 1 year before Matthew Vandegrift lost his life. And then he said, see the photos of how Hutto High School honored my fine stepson. Well, Matthew Vandegrift, so Vandegrift High School was named after Matthew Vandegrift, who was a graduate of Leander High School, and he was the first Leander graduate to die in the War on Terror. So kind of an interesting little connection between the two teams, and, obviously not for great reasons, but certainly for respectful reasons. Both Vandegrift named after someone who gave his life, and our field house in Hutto named after a Hutto grad who gave his life, and Rodney Carr, who sent that email, has a connection to both places. So that's a pretty neat story to cap this one off. We started with a neat story on Tommy Hartman, and we end this one with a neat story like that. Final score tonight from Monroe Memorial Stadium in Leander is Vandegrift 38, Hippos 6. Well, join us Monday night for the Coaches Show at Rio Grande Restaurant, and we'll have to talk a little bit about this one, but more importantly, we'll talk about the game coming up next Friday against Cedar Ridge, and we'll start talking about the importance of that for playoff purposes. But our special guest will be Coach Gant Caraway, the boys basketball coach, and also Jennifer Hoffman, the girls basketball coach for the Hippos, as basketball season has gotten underway for both programs, and we'll want to talk to them about their expectations. As we mentioned earlier, the Hippo boys made a tremendous run last year, and I know Coach Caraway was really excited about the prospects of what he had coming back this year on his basketball team, and feels like they can certainly make another great run. So we'll talk to them Monday night at the Coaches Show. Come on out and join us 6 o'clock at Rio Grande Restaurant. If you can't join us in person, you can certainly tune in and watch the live stream on this same link that you're watching tonight's football game. And then next Friday night, the Hippos will take on Cedar Ridge. It'll be the last home game of the year for the Hippos, and the last home game ever at Hutto Memorial Stadium as it looks right now, as next year that stadium will look completely different after a great renovation. A great story tonight was Tommy Hartman. Tommy Hartman got his touchdown. The 4-year senior manager for the Vandegrift Vipers got a touchdown to start the game, and that was a neat story for everybody involved. And certainly we were blessed and fortunate to be a part of that and get to watch that. And certainly the Hutto Hippos were more than gracious in being a part of that for Tommy Hartman. Final score tonight, Vandegrift 38, Hutto 6. For Ryan Robinson, for Bryce Doggett, who was giving us some commentary on the sideline via text, and for Gage doing the engineering. I'm Todd Robinson. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday night at the Coaches Show.